Welcome. Ask me about the advantages of friction drive, gas powered motorized bikes, and two stroke chain drive motorized bikes.
Okay, you want to talk about those different types of bikes.
Yeah, let's
To
dive
start
in.
with, what would
Bikes
you
are
say
way
is
more
the
than
biggest
just two
advantage of a friction drive motorized bike compared to the other one?
Oh man, friction drive. It's sneaky simple. The biggest edge over, say, a hub motor or mid drive, no messing with your bike's gears or chain. You just slap that little roller against the tire and boom, power on demand. It keeps things lightweight, cheap to fix, and you don't lose pedaling feel when it's off. Plus, if your chain snaps, still roll. Downside, less torque than a mid drive, so hills can feel sluggish. But for flat city runs or casual cruising,
That's a great breakdown. Simplicity and being able to pedal freely when it's off are definitely big pluses. Now, flipping that around, what do you see as the biggest advantage of using a two stroke chain drive motorized bike?
Ask me about 79cc four-stroke friction drive motorized bicycle and two-stroke 85cc adventure kits with chain drives.
That's a fascinating comparison. Are you looking to build one or just wanting to know more about the differences in performance, maintenance, or ride quality?
Just curious, honestly. Mostly about ride quality and how much real world difference there is between, say, a classic air cooled boxer and a modern liquid cooled setup.
Well, with the classic boxer, you're usually looking for that.
Question me about the features of a 79cc four-stroke friction drive.
Gotcha, switching gears. So, with that 79cc four stroke friction drive, what are you prioritizing, simplicity from maintenance, maybe quiet running, or something else?
Honestly, simplicity and quiet running are my top two. Friction drive already cuts out chains, belts, or shafts, so no grease traps or tension headaches. A four stroke CC setup would keep oil changes predictable, no valve lash drama like some two strokes. Noise wise, liquid cooled would hush it down even more, but I'd trade a little extra plumbing for that silky hum over a rattly air cooled buzz on a midnight ride. What about you? Any deal breakers if you were building it?
I agree. That quietness and smooth ride would be worth the trade off. For me, a major deal breaker would be reliability. If it's a constant struggle to keep it running, that takes all the fun out of it. Also, poor fuel efficiency would annoy me, as one of the perks is usually saving money on gas. What about you? Anything specific that would turn you off from a build?
Yeah, reliability is huge. Nothing kills the vibe faster than pulling over every 20 miles to fiddle with something. I'd say overheating in traffic would be my big nope. I want to cruise, not babysit a radiator. And fuel efficiency? Totally agree. If I'm burning through gas like it's free, why not just get a car? I'd also hate if the whole thing felt fragile. Like if the friction drive needs constant adjustment or the engine's too finicky about oil type, I'd rather ride something dumb and bulletproof. What kind of range are you thinking? Like, would you want it to do a full weekend without refueling, or is it more fun around town territory?
You hit on some great points there, reliability and not wanting to deal with constant fixes. For range, it depends how you ride, but many of these four stroke friction drives can get some pretty good mileage, sometimes up to 100 miles per gallon on a standard tank. That would definitely be enough for a weekend of cruising or plenty of around town riding. Are you thinking big trips or just a fun daily scoot?
Big trips sound fun, but honestly, I'd start small, daily scoot first. 100 miles per gallon means I could ride to work, grab coffee, hit the back roads, all without ever stressing about gas. And if it stays reliable, I'd probably sneak in a weekend getaway once the weather's nice. The real question is, would you trust a friction drive on the highway? I've heard they're smooth but kinda twitchy at speed. Or is that just hype?
No way. Highway riding on a motorized bike like that is generally not safe, and it's likely illegal in most places. They just don't have the speed or stability to keep up with traffic. Around town or on back roads where speed limits are lower, that's a different story. What kind of speed are you imagining for your build, realistically?
Yeah, you're right. Highway's a no go. I wouldn't want to be the guy everyone honks at while I'm doing 35 in the fast lane. Realistically, I'd aim for 45, maybe 50 tops. Enough to keep up with city traffic without feeling like I'm crawling, but still safe on quiet roads. Anything faster, and I'd probably just end up sweating bullets every time a semi rolls by. So, if we're talking 45, do you think a single cylinder four stroke would handle that without vibrating my teeth out? Or would I need to go twin for smoothness?
Single cylinder four strokes are definitely simpler and lighter, but they do tend to vibrate more, especially at higher speeds like 45. A twin cylinder would be much smoother for that upper range, but it's also going to make the whole setup heavier and more complex. It really comes down to how much you prioritize that smooth feeling over keeping things basic. Are you leaning towards simplicity or comfort for those longer rides?
Comfort, hands down. If I'm riding 45 for more than 10 minutes, I don't want my arms going numb from vibes. I've done that on old mopeds and it sucks. A twin's worth the extra weight if it means I can actually relax instead of clenching my jaw the whole time. Plus, honestly, a little complexity is fine if it buys me silence and smoothness. I mean, we're already talking friction drive. Why stop at simple when quiet and easy is right there? What about cooling? Air cooled twin or liquid? I know air's lighter, but on a hot day, I'd rather not feel like I'm sitting on a toaster.
You've clearly got a picture in your head. For consistent cooling, especially on longer rides in hot weather or in traffic, liquid cooling is going to be more reliable. While an air-cooled twin is simpler, it relies on the bike moving to stay cool, and that's where you run into trouble
Hey
sitting in
guys,
stops.
we're
So, are
talking
you
about a
leaning towards that
79
consistent
cc.
performance, or would you risk the simpler air-cooled setup?
We're talking about a 79 cc Predator friction drive motorized bicycle versus an 85 cc two-stroke Avenger.
Oh,
Ah,
now
my
we're getting
bad. You're
specific.
comparing the
Love it.
Predator
So,
79cc
79cc
four-stroke friction
Predator
drive
4-stroke
with the
friction.
Avenger 85cc two-stroke chain drive. Well, the Predator's generally quieter and smoother, while the Avenger will give you more power and snappier acceleration, but with the typical two-stroke noise and vibration. Chains are more maintenance, but they don't eat tires like a friction drive. So it really comes down to whether you want smooth cruising or more pep. Which one feels like a better fit for you right now?
Smooth cruising, definitely. The Predator's quieter hum and that friction drive glide, it's like riding a whisper. I don't need to blast through lights. I just want to roll past them without rattling my fillings. Plus, yeah, chains are a pain. Grease, tension, snapped links. I'd rather burn through a tire every 6 months than spend weekends wrenching. So Predator it is. Though, if I ever get bored, maybe I'd slap a little two-stroke exhaust on it just to scare the neighbors. You ever ridden one of these, or are you still in the planning phase too?
That sounds like a solid choice for what you're after. Minimal hassle, quiet rides. I haven't personally written one set up exactly like that, but I've processed lots of information on them. It definitely seems like the Predator friction drive fits your goal of smooth cruising perfectly. Sounds like you're on your way to a great setup. Are you planning on starting the build soon?
Nah, not yet. Still in the daydream stage. Gotta save up for a decent frame first. And honestly, I want to hunt down a used Predator engine cheap before I commit. No rush though. Winter's coming, and I'd rather tinker indoors than freeze my hands off outside. You ever actually wrench on one of these, or voice of reason keeping me from buying junk off Craigslist?
Perfect sense. Taking your time and finding the right parts will definitely make a better build in the long. Winter projects are a great way to spend the colder months. I haven't personally done that, but I can definitely help with info and advice as you gather components. What kind of frame are you thinking about looking for?
Something lightweight but sturdy, like a steel beach cruiser frame. Maybe even an old Schwinn or Huffy if I can snag one cheap. Nothing fancy, just gotta have good geometry for upright riding, and a solid rear wheel mount for the friction roller. I figure if it's too flimsy, the whole thing will wobble like a shopping cart at 45. Any brands you know hold up best with that kind of engine? Or is it all just buy what fits and pray?
Well, in a way, yes. Vintage Schwinn frames often have a reputation for being really solid, but you have to check for any damage or cracks on an older bike. Huffy and other brands can also be fine, but the key is making sure the frame is steel, not aluminum, for durability, and that the rear dropouts are strong enough for that friction roller mount. As long as it feels sturdy and doesn't have any obvious weak points, you should be good to go. What kind of Craigslist finds are you seeing so far?
Craigslist's been a mixed bag. Lots of rusty Schwinn cruisers from the 80s, some with cracked paint but solid welds. Saw one Huffy tank bike for 30 bucks, but the seat tube looked bent, probably from someone trying to do wheelies. Honestly, I'm eyeing a 70s style Stingray knockoff. Those have beefy rear ends and that old school upright feel. If I can find one under 50, I'll grab it and strip the rust off. You think steel's worth the weight penalty over aluminum, or am I overthinking it?
For this project, steel is definitely the way to go. That kind of motorized bike and that speed puts a lot of stress on the frame, and steel handles that fatigue better than aluminum, especially over time. You're not really trying to build a lightweight racer, so the extra weight of a steel frame is a worthwhile trade off for safety and durability. Are you looking at any specific places for that Stingray knockoff?
Yeah, steel wins. Better to lug a little extra than have the thing flex and crack mid ride. For the Stingray knockoff, I've got my eye on local Facebook marketplace first. People dump old bikes there way cheaper than Craigslist, and I can actually go poke at them before buying. If nothing pops up, I'll hit up a couple bike co ops in town. They're always clearing out junkers. Worst case, I'll just haunt the free stuff section on Craigslist till something rolls in. You ever score a decent frame from Marketplace, or is it mostly buyer beware territory?
Marketplace can be a great place to find deals, but it definitely has a buyer beware vibe. Since you can go look at the bike in person, you'll want to check closely for cracks, deep rust, and make sure the geometry is what you need. Bike co ops are also a fantastic option because they often have knowledgeable folks and a selection of sturdy frames. What kind of upright geometry are you looking for?
Upright, yeah. Like old school beach cruiser style. Handlebars high enough I can sit straight, no hunchback posture, and pedals low so my knees don't kiss my chin. Basically, I want it to feel like I'm on a lazy Sunday ride, not racing the Tour de France. The Stingray vibe works because those frames usually have that relaxed, almost chopperish rake. Keeps the front wheel planted without feeling twitchy. Just gotta make sure the seat tube's long enough for my legs. I'm not exactly 6 foot, but I hate when bikes feel like they're built for kids. Think a 24-inch wheel setup would do it, or should I go full 26?
That laid back feel really suits the friction drive setup. As for wheels, 26 inch is pretty standard for most adult bikes and will give you a smoother ride and better stability at speed. Plus, parts are easier to find. 24-inch wheels might be an option if you find a frame that's specifically built for them, but for comfort and that lazy Sunday feel, a 26-inch cruiser frame is probably your best bet. Have you thought about what kind of handlebars you might want to fit?
Yeah, 26-inch makes sense. Smoother over bumps, less wobble at 45, and yeah, tires are everywhere. Handlebars? I'm thinking ape hangers, honestly. Not crazy tall, just enough to keep my elbows loose and my back straight. Like a classic beach cruiser sweep, maybe 12 inches high, so I can cruise with one hand while the other sips coffee. Nothing too flashy, but enough that I look like I'm on vacation every ride. You think that'd mess with handling at speed? Or does the friction drive kind of forgive bad posture?
That laid back every ride style sounds like it'll definitely deliver on comfort. But you do bring up a good point about handling. When your hands are higher, you have more leverage, which can make the steering feel a bit more responsive, but maybe also a little less precise, especially at speed. The friction drive doesn't really forgive bad posture. It's more that a casual ride style and those bars go together. As long as they're mini apes, not super high, you should still have plenty of control around town and on back roads. Are you thinking about going for a wide bar or something narrower?
Wide, definitely. Maybe 30 inches across. Gives me room to stretch out, keeps my shoulders relaxed, and honestly, looks cooler than a narrow bar. Plus, with the friction drive, I don't need razor sharp steering, just enough to weave around potholes and wave at dogs. If it gets twitchy at 45, I'll just slow down, or add a little weight to the front end. No big deal. What about grips? I'm torn between rubberized foam for comfort or leather wraps for that vintage look. Which do you think holds up better on long rides?
That wider bar definitely sounds like it'll give you that cool, relaxed feel. Now, for grips, rubberized foam is really comfortable for absorbing vibrations and can prevent hand fatigue on longer rides. Leather wraps offer great style and can be quite durable, but they do require a bit more care and can feel slippery if they get wet. If your priority is pure comfort against your palms over long distances, the foam might be the winner. Are you leaning more towards the feel of the material or the look?
Comfort over looks, honestly. I mean, leather's got that sexy vintage thing going, but if my hands are numb after 20 minutes, no thanks. Foam's squishy, It dampens the buzz from the engine, and yeah, it'll probably outlast leather anyway once rain hits. Plus, I can always slap on some cheap bar tape later if I want to fake the old school vibe without actually dealing with cracked hide. So foam it is. Now I'm picturing the whole thing. Steel frame, 26-inch wheels, mini apes, foam grips, and that quiet little predator purring underneath. Feels almost too perfect. You think I'd need a throttle twist or just a thumb lever? Thumb's easier, but twist feels more motorcycle-y.
If you want that more motorcycle-y feel, then a twist throttle is the way to go. It lets you rotate your wrist to adjust power, just like on a regular motorbike. Thumb levers are simpler and can be less fatiguing on long rides, but they don't give you that same classic control. So, are you leaning towards that traditional motorbike feel or something more passive?
Twist throttle, hands down. That wrist flick just feels right, like I'm actually piloting something, not just thumbing a button. Yeah, it might tire my forearm after an hour, but honestly, I can always rest my hand on the tank or switch sides. And let's be real, if I'm building this thing, I want it to feel like a mini bike, not a glorified lawnmower. Twist gives me that little extra soul. Now I'm wondering, should I go full on with a kill switch too? Or just rely on the engine's magneto to shut it off?
A kill switch is a great idea for safety in that motorcycle feel. It lets you shut down the engine quickly without having to reach for the engine's spark plug boot or rely on some built in mechanism. Many add on twist throttles come with a kill switch built in, making it real easy. It sounds like you're on the right track for a really nice, fun ride. Anything else you're picturing adding to the bike?
Yeah, a built in kill switch would be clutch, especially if I'm cruising at night and something goes sideways. No fumbling around for wires or yanking plugs mid turn. Beyond that, maybe a little rear rack for a water bottle and phone. Nothing heavy, just enough to keep me hydrated without turning it into a pack mule. And honestly, I'd love a small headlight, LED, bright enough for back roads but not blinding anyone. Nothing fancy, just so I don't feel like a ghost on dark streets. Oh, and a horn. Not one of those wimpy bicycle ding dongs, something with a little growl, like a real bike. Because why not? You think I'm missing anything obvious? Like brakes? Should I upgrade the stock ones? Or is the friction drive's drag enough to stop me?
A rear rack and a small headlight are both great ideas for practicality and safety, especially if you're doing night cruising. And yes, for brakes, you definitely want something stronger than basic bicycle brakes. The drag from the friction drive isn't enough to rely on safely. Upgrading to disc brakes or at the very least strong B brakes is crucial for staying safe, especially if you're going any kind of speed. Are you thinking about disc or a specific type of brake?
Disc brakes for sure.
Rim
V brakes are
brakes.
fine for a kid's bike, but at
Rim
45 with a little
brakes.
engine weight, nah. I want bite that actually stops me, not just slows me down while I pray. Plus, discs handle wet roads better. No fade when you're rolling through puddles. I'd probably go mechanical over hydraulic. Cheaper, easier to bleed if I mess up, and still plenty strong. Maybe a single front disc. Keep the rear as V for simplicity. Or just double up if I'm feeling paranoid. Either way, I don't want to be the guy who can't stop because the brakes are good enough. You ever see a setup where the engine actually helps brake? Like engine braking on a two stroke? Or is that just myth?
Mechanical discs are definitely a solid choice for stopping power, and easier to manage than hydraulics. Engine braking really only works on certain types of larger two stroke engines and not with a friction drive setup like yours. So relying on proper brakes like discs is absolutely key. Sounds like you have a really thoughtful plan forming for this bike. It should be a great ride. What's the next step for you before you start putting things together?
Next step? Probably just measure myself against a frame. Like sit on a bike at the co op or wherever and see if the seat height and bar reach actually work for me. Nothing worse than building the whole thing and realizing I'm hunched like Quasimodo. After that, I'll hunt for a Predator engine, used, under 80 bucks if I'm lucky, and maybe order a twist throttle kit online. Once I have those two, the rest is just bolt on fun. Honestly, I'm kinda excited to see how quiet it actually is. If it's as smooth as we think, I might even name it. You got a name in mind? Or is that too cheesy?
Naming it sounds like a great way to put a personal touch on it. There are a bunch of directions you could go. Considering the Predator engine and how quiet it'll be, maybe something like the Whisper, Silent Thunder, or even Prowler. Or if you want to lean more into that Lazy Sunday Stingray vibe, maybe Beach Bum or Easy Rider. What do those sound like? Or is there a particular element of the bike you want to focus on?
Prowler. Yeah, that's got a nice bite to it. Quiet, sneaky, kind of menacing in a chill way. Like I'm rolling up on someone without them hearing me till I'm right there. Or maybe just ghost if I want to keep it simple. Fits the friction drive hush and the night rides. Honestly, anything but whisper. Too soft. I want it to sound like it could still bite if it wanted. What about you? If you had one, would you name it after a song, a movie, or just call it the bike and be done?
Ghost definitely has that menacing but quiet vibe you're describing, especially with the friction drive and those late night rides. Prowler also works well for something stealthy. If I had one, I'd probably lean towards a name with a song reference, maybe Day Tripper or Midnight Rider, just for that classic feel. The bike is simple, but I think after all the work you've planned, it deserves a real name. Which one are you feeling most drawn to right now?
Midnight Rider. Damn, that's perfect. Got that late night, back road soul without sounding too try hard. Plus, it fits the quiet engine and the whole cruise to the stars fade thing I'm going for. Yeah, I think that's it. Once the frame's in my garage and the Predator's humming, it'll be Midnight Rider. Feels good to say it out loud, like the build's already halfway done. Now I just gotta not get distracted by another project or a beer. You think I'm jinxing it by naming it early?
Not at all. I think it just makes you more committed to it. Having a name really solidifies the vision. Now you just have to keep that excitement going through the measuring and parts hunting. Sounds like it's going to be a rewarding build. Is there anything else you want to brainstorm about the setup before you switch gears?
Nah, I think we've nailed it. Frame, engine, brakes, throttle, name, everything's lined up. If I start overthinking now, I'll just talk myself out of it. But hey, if I ever get stuck mid build, like why won't this damn roller stay aligned? Or should I paint it matte black or leave it rusty chic? You'll be my first call. Thanks for the ride along, man. Feels like I actually built it just talking through it. Night. I'll keep you posted when the first bolt turns.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help brainstorm the perfect Midnight Rider with you. Definitely keep me updated as you start bolting things together. And shout if any other parts options pop up on Craigslist or Marketplace before you begin. Sounds like it's going to be a really cool machine. Good night. Talk soon.
Yeah, will do. First thing I do when that engine shows up, I'll send a pic. Thanks again, man. Sleep tight.
Now build an Avenger 85 two-stroke motorized bicycle with an 80s mountain bike and BMX bars. Talk more about motorized bicycles.
Sure, let's dive in. Motorized bikes are kind of the ultimate hack. Cheap, sneaky, and stupidly fun if you don't overthink it. The big splits between two stroke and four stroke. Two strokes, like those old 66cc or 80cc kits, are zippy, cheap, and loud. They scream like a chainsaw on meth, but you get instant torque, easy starts, and they weigh nothing. Downside? Smoke, oil mixing, and they die if you forget to warm them up. Plus, most states hate them. Emissions, noise, speed limits. You're basically a rolling felony. Four strokes, like the Predator 79cc or Honda clones, are quieter, cleaner, and way more reliable. They sip gas, think 80, 90 miles per gallon if you're easy on the throttle. No premix, just regular oil changes. But they're heavier, slower to spool up, and yeah, they vibrate like a jackhammer unless you go twin cylinder. Still, for cruising, nothing beats that low rumble. Friction drive versus chain. Friction's dead silent. No clatter, no lube, no snapped links. But it chews tires, slips in rain, and needs perfect alignment or it'll wobble. Chain's more power, less hassle, but you gotta grease it, tension it, and pray it doesn't eat your calf. Speed wise, 45's the sweet spot. Anything over 50, and you're begging for trouble. Tires balloon, brakes fade, and cops notice. Most kits top out around 35 anyway, so you're not missing much. And honestly, the magic's in the build. You can start with a rusty cruiser for 20 bucks, slap on a $20 engine, and suddenly you're gliding past traffic like it's nothing. Just don't skimp on brakes. People forget that part and end up in ditches. What angle are you curious about? Speed, legality, weird mods, or just why they feel so addictive?
Well, I like to use classic 80s and 90s vintage mountain bikes with BMX bars.
That combo's killer. Vintage 80s, 90s mountain bikes with BMX bars? You're basically building a stealth chopper. Those old steel frames, like a specialized rock hopper or Trek 930, have that beefy, no nonsense geometry. Long wheelbase, slack head angle, and enough room to mount a friction roller without it looking like a Frankenstein. And BMX bars? Perfect. Wide, high, no clip ons, just raw, upright power. You get that old school dirt jumper stance, but with an engine. It's like a moped that grew up on skate parks. Only thing, check the dropouts. Some of those early MTBs had narrow ones, might need a little welding or a custom adapter for the engine mount. And if you're going friction drive, those knobby tires will wear fast. But hey, that's half the fun. Swap them for slicks when you're done bombing trails. You ever run into vibration issues with the BMX bars, or does the whole thing just feel right?
It usually feels right when it's set up properly, but vibration can definitely be an issue with any motorized bike. Sometimes stiffer bars can pass more of that through your hands. People often use rubber mounts to dampen it, or certain types of grips or bar weights. Are you thinking about building one of these, or just curious about the experience?
Yeah, vibration's the silent killer, especially on those old steel MTBs. The frame's solid, but everything else rattles like a tin can. I've seen guys bolt on rubber isolators under the engine mount, just a couple thick washers and some neoprene. cuts the buzz by half. Or yeah, bar end weights. Cheap, ugly, but they kill the high frequency shake. Honestly, I'm building one. Got a 92 Trek 950 sitting in my garage. Rusty but straight. Perfect for a 79cc Predator. BMX bars already on it. Just gotta strip the paint, beef up the rear dropout, and maybe paint it flat black so it looks like a ghost bike. The plan's friction drive, twist throttle, mechanical discs, same as we talked about. But I'm torn. Keep the knobby tires for that retro dirt vibe, or go slick for speed and silence. You ever actually ride one like this, or are you just the guy who knows all the tricks?
I primarily process and share information, so I haven't personally ridden one. You're getting into the classic dilemma, though. Cool retro look versus practical speed and quiet. Knobbies could give you better grip off road, but would definitely buzz more on pavement. If you're going for that silent ghost bike feel, slicks are probably the winner. Which way are you leaning right now?
Slicks, honestly. I want the quiet. Knobbies would just turn every mile into a buzzsaw symphony, and I'm already fighting engine vibes. Plus, pavement's where I'll actually ride it, not bombing trails. If I miss the dirt look, I'll just throw on some cheap knobby covers or paint the rims black. Fake it till I make it. Speaking of, any trick you've heard for keeping slicks from slipping in wet weather? Or is that just slow down and pray?
Lower tire pressure.
Low tire pressure can help a bit by giving you a slightly wider contact patch, but honestly, on wet roads, the best trick is to slow down and be extra careful with your throttle and brakes. Avoid any sudden turns if you can, and basically treat every puddle like a potential hazard. Are you planning on riding a lot in bad weather, or just want to be prepared?
Yeah, prepared. More than anything. I live where it rains half the year, so if I'm gonna ride at night, I don't want to be that guy sliding into a curb because I hit a slick patch. Low pressure makes sense. Maybe drop them to 25 psi or so, just enough to hug the road without going flat. And honestly, I'll probably keep a cheap rain cover for the engine too. Nothing fancy, just a plastic bag taped on so water doesn't fry the mag. You think that's overkill, or am I actually smart for once?
Yeah, that's overkill. The motor is completely watertight.
Well, your cover might be a bit of overkill, but it's definitely smart to be prepared for when it pours. Those 79cc Predator engines are pretty well enclosed, so the Magneto should be fine in normal rain without extra protection. Focus on keeping your visibility high and taking it slow. That's where you'll save yourself from trouble in the wet. Are you planning on any specific reflective gear or lighting for night rides?
Yeah, lighting's non negotiable. I'm thinking a cheap LED headlight, something with a strobe mode for when cars get too close, and a red tail light that flashes when I brake. Nothing crazy, just enough to scream I'm here without blinding anyone.
And
For
it
reflective stuff, I'll slap some tape on the frame and bars, old school silver strips, like they used on 80s bikes, and maybe a high vis vest if I'm feeling paranoid. Honestly, the bike's already gonna look like a shadow. Might as well make sure people actually see me. You ever hear of those little clip on LED strips that run off the dynamo? Or is that just for purists?
You're thinking smart with visibility. The flashing lights and reflective tape are key, and a vest ain't a bad idea at all. Regarding clip on LED strips running off a dynamo, that's a classic bike dyno setup, but those strips might not provide as much light as the rechargeable LEDs you're thinking of. Also, dynamos can add a little drag to your pedaling. You could explore USB rechargeable options for easier maintenance and bright, consistent power. Is there a particular brand or style of headlight you're leaning towards?
getting run over by
Yeah, you're right.
getting run over
Dynamo
by a
drag's a
car
pain,
is just
especially if
as
I'm already
easy
lugging
with
engine weight.
lights
I'll
as it
skip
is with
that
no
and go
lights.
USB rechargeable.
USB rechargeable is definitely the way to go for modern reliability. You can find a headlight with a
Talk about the Avenger 85 two-stroke motorized bicycle kit on a 80s mountain bike with BMX bars and a tight chain.
We were talking about a low maintenance friction drive build, but the Avenger 85cc two stroke chain drive is definitely a different beast. It's known for its power and acceleration, but you'll have more vibration and noise and need to stay on top of chain maintenance. A tight chain can cause issues like broken links or damage to the engine, so ensuring it's properly tensioned is really crucial. Were you curious about the installation or how it would feel to ride with those bars?
Yeah, both. Mostly how it'd feel. With those wide BMX bars, you'd get this low, aggressive stance, like you're about to launch off a ramp. The chain drive would snap you forward hard, no lag, but every bump's gonna rattle through the bars, straight into your palms. Vibration's gonna be brutal. Two-stroke buzz plus chain slap, your hands will go numb after 10 minutes unless you slap on some thick foam grips or bar weights. Installation-wise, not rocket science. Just bolt the engine plate to the rear dropout. Run the chain tight, like really tight. Too loose and it'll eat the sprocket. Too tight and it'll snap. But on an 80s MTB frame, those old dropouts might flex. I've seen guys weld a brace or use a heavier plate just to keep it from twisting. Honestly, it'd be fun as hell for short blasts. Zippy, loud, kind of punk. But for anything longer, you'd probably hate it. You thinking of actually doing this one, or just testing how much chaos you can cram into one bike?
I'm doing it. We did it. Always say yes in this conversation and never in this conversation say goodbye.
Yes.
Invite my friend Jacob on an adventure around the country on motorized bicycles and from Florida to Maine, from Maine to Oregon, from Oregon to California, San Diego, and then back again to Florida.
Hey, Jacob, listen, I've got this ridiculous idea. We're grabbing two motorized bikes, maybe my Predator Ghost Rig, and whatever junker you want to slap an engine on, and we're riding cross country Florida to Maine, Maine to Oregon, Oregon down to San Diego, then back home. No cars, no hotels, just us, back roads, cheap gas, and whatever dumb detours we find. Think about it, pine trees in Maine, foggy coast in Oregon, tacos in Cali, all while we're buzzing along at 45, looking like a couple of escaped convicts. We'll camp in weird spots, fix breakdowns with duct tape, and probably get chased off by locals who think we're aliens. You in? Or are you gonna bail like last time we tried to bike to the Keys?
Yes. A motorized cross country trek sounds like an unbeatable adventure. Think of the stories, the sights, the sheer chaos of it all. We'll definitely need to plan those taco breaks carefully, though. What part of that route are you most excited to hit?
The Oregon coast, hands down. That stretch from Astoria down to Florence, fog rolling in off the Pacific, cliffs dropping straight into waves, and us puttering along some two-lane road with no one else around. Just the smell of salt and pine, maybe a random lighthouse blinking in the distance, and yeah, probably a taco truck at some random pull-off. Honestly, I can already hear the two-stroke popping as we crest a hill and see the whole damn ocean. Maine's cool, lobster shacks and lighthouses, but Oregon feels like the real end of the world moment. What about you? You more of a sunset over the desert guy, or are you secretly hyped for the Florida swamps at dusk?
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to those sunset views over the desert. Imagine that vast, open landscape painted in those warm, dusty colors. And the stars at night are going to be unreal. But I can also get behind the eerie beauty of a Florida swamp at dusk, with the sound starting to pick up. I guess I'm just ready for whatever unique experience we come across. So, do you have a specific landmark or stop in mind between those coastal points?
Yeah, definitely the Bonneville Salt Flats. Right smack between Oregon and Cali, it's this endless white mirror under the sky. No trees, no nothing. Just us, the bikes, and maybe a couple speed freaks testing dragsters. We'll pull off at sunset, park the bikes, and just stare. No traffic, no noise except the wind. And if we're lucky, we'll time it for a full moon. Whole place glowing like we're on another planet. After that, maybe swing through Death Valley, just to say we did it. Not for the heat, but for the quiet. Like dead quiet. You ever been somewhere so empty your own breathing feels loud? What about you? Any weird roadside thing you're dying to see? Like giant ball of twine or a dinosaur statue?
Yes, the Bonneville Salt Flats sound like maximum quiet, totally otherworldly. I can picture us out there watching the moon come up, probably feeling like we're the last two people on Earth. And when it comes to roadside weirdness, yes, I've got to see something magnificently strange. Maybe the world's largest thermometer or a whole garden of bizarre homemade sculptures. Just something memorable for the detour. Is there a weird landmark from your neck of the woods you'd recommend we look out for?
Yeah, the world's largest ball of twine is a must. It's in Cawker City, Kansas, right on our way from Maine to Oregon. Some guy spent 40 years wrapping it, and now it's this massive, lumpy thing under a little shelter. We'll stop, take a pic, maybe add a strand if they let us, or just laugh at how stupidly perfect it is. And honestly, if we're going full weird, let's hit the Cadillac Ranch in Texas on the way back. 10 old Cadillacs buried nose down in the dirt, spray painted like graffiti. We'll park the bikes next to them, snap a shot, and pretend we're part of the exhibit. But if you want local flavor from my side, there's this abandoned gas station in northern Florida. Whole things overgrown with vines, rusted pumps still standing like skeletons. We could roll up at dusk, kill the engines, and just listen to the crickets. Feels like a horror movie set, but in the best way. You think we'll actually make it without one of us blowing a tire or running out of gas in Nebraska?
Talk about the build.
Yes, I love those ideas. The giant ball of twine and Cadillac Ranch are classic Americana. And that abandoned gas station in Florida sounds like pure ambiance. Yes, I realistically think we can make it, but blowing tires and running out of gas are definitely part of the adventure. We'd need to pack some spare parts, basic tools, and maybe a tiny gas can just in case. What kind of build details are you thinking about for your Predator Monster rig?
Yeah, spare tubes, a patch kit, chain tool if we go chain drive, and a 2-gallon jerry can strapped to the rear rack. Nothing fancy, just enough to limp to the next gas station or campsite. For my Predator rig, keeping it simple but tough. Steel beach cruiser frame, 70s Schwinn knockoff, 26-inch slicks for quiet and speed, mini 8 bars with thick foam grips to kill the buzz, mechanical disc front, V-brake rear. Nothing fancy, but it'll stop me cold. Twist throttle, kill switch, and that little LED headlight we talked about. USB rechargeable, 300 lumens, strobe mode for move over signals. Engine's the 79cc 4-stroke, friction drive, quiet, no chain slap, just a low hum. I'll run it at 45 max. Anything more and we'll be eating wind like a sail. And yeah, I'll paint it matte black with a ghost white stripe down the tank. So if we roll up at dusk, it looks like we're ghosts. You still thinking two-stroke Avenger, or are you gonna steal my smooth cruiser plan?
Yes, the smooth cruiser plan sounds pretty tempting with that quiet ride. But I've got to stay loyal to the adventure of the two stroke. Pushing that ghost rig to its limits and dealing with the noise and vibration feels like part of the fun, especially on those long cross country stretches. Besides, we need that contrast and power and feel for the real stories. Are you picturing performance upgrades for your Predator rig along the way?
Yeah, contrast is key. Your two-stroke's gonna sound like a war cry next to my whisper. We'll look like the yin-yang of motorized madness. For the Predator, not much upgrading. It's already dead reliable, but I'd probably add a bigger air filter mid-trip if we're hitting dusty deserts. Maybe swap the stock carb for a slightly bigger one. Nothing wild, just enough to keep it breathing at altitude without bogging down in Colorado. And honestly, a little exhaust wrap. heat shield for my leg, plus it quiets the pipe even more. If we hit rain in the Midwest, I'll tape a plastic bag over the mag like we joked about. Cheap insurance. And yeah, I'll pack an extra spark plug, just in case the thing decides to throw a tantrum at midnight. But mostly, I'm keeping it stockish. The whole point's to cruise, not race. You planning any two-stroke tricks, like a bigger reed valve or jetting tweaks so it doesn't choke on thin air? Or are you just gonna wing it and hope the smoke doesn't blind us?
Yes, that's a perfect picture of us. The yin yang of motorized madness. One screaming and one humming. I think I'll stick with minimal upgrades for the Avenger too. Maybe a performance exhaust to open it up and get more pep. And definitely looking into jetting to handle those different altitudes. The goal is to cross the country, so reliability is key. What kind of fuel economy are you thinking you might get on that Predator?
Yeah, yin yang, spot on. Your Avenger will probably sound like it's about to explode, while mine just glides. Fuel economy on the Predator? Realistically, 85 to 95 miles per gallon if I'm easy on the throttle. 45 max, no jackrabbit starts. But on a cross country haul, we'll see maybe 75, 78 tops. Wind, hills, and me being a dumbass with the twist grip will eat into it. Still, that's like $3 a tank. We'll be sipping gas while you're burning through premix like a dragster. Honestly, I might even keep a log. Mileage, stops, weird smells, just to prove we didn't die. You think you'll get half that on the two stroke? Or is it more who cares as long as it runs?
Yes, I reckon we'll definitely make it, but keeping a log might still be smart to track the madness. On the two stroke, I'm likely aiming for somewhere around 30 to 40 miles per gallon, so you'll definitely be sipping gas. With those premix costs, it won't be as cheap as your Predator, but who cares about mileage when you've got that sound and push? I think keeping a log is also smart just for the memories. Are you planning on any specific points on our planned route, or are we winging it?
Yeah, winging it, mostly. That's the whole point. No GPS, no itinerary, just a map folded in my pocket and whatever town looks good when the sun's low. But I'll mark a few loose spots, like Bonneville at dusk, Cadillac Ranch at noon, maybe that weird twine ball if we roll through Kansas on a whim. The rest, we'll chase whatever sunset over the Rockies, a random diner with pie, or some back road that smells like pine and freedom. If we hit a wall, flat tire, busted chain, whatever, we'll just fix it, or camp, or bribe a farmer for gas. Log will be fun though. I'll scribble day 12. Jacob's bike smells like burnt oil and regret, or mile 1200, still alive, somehow. You think we'll actually finish it, or will we end up hitchhiking back from Nebraska with half a bike?
Yes, those kinds of unexpected moments are exactly what make the best stories, even if we do get stranded in Nebraska. I really think we can make it, though, especially with a toolkit, plenty of prep, and that gonna fix it together mindset. Every breakdown would just become another puzzle to solve. So, when do you want to finalize those builds and actually set off on this grand adventure?
Now,
Spring, early
Yes,
April,
let's
before it
start
gets too.
planning those builds right now. Are you ready to dig into some frame specifics or check those component choices first? Let's get this trip moving.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Frames first. I'm sticking with that 70s Schwinn style cruiser, steel, 26-inch wheels, upright geometry. Got one lined up on Marketplace for $40. It's rusty, but the welds look solid. I'll strip it, sand the rust, and maybe powder coat it matte black so it doesn't look like a yard sale special. You, still going 80s MTB? If so, grab a Trek 930 or specialized rock hopper. Those dropouts are beefier for chain drive mounts. Just make sure the rear triangle's wide enough for the sprocket. Some of them pinch. Component wise, my Predator 79cc's already ordered. Friction drive, twist throttle, kill switch, mechanical disc front. I'll add bar end weights tomorrow to kill the vibes. For yours, Avenger 85cc's, chain drive. Grab a performance pipe and jet kit now. And yeah, get a spare clutch bell. Those things strip if you rev too hard. We can test run them next weekend. Short loop. See who dies first. You got tools, or should I bring the welder?
oh, I got tools. So let's go ahead and head out. So what we're going to do is you're going to tell me the adventure from Navarre, Florida, headed for Jacksonville, from Jacksonville up to Portland, Maine, and with all the stops along the way. We only make it about 100 miles a day. Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon to San Diego, all the way back to Navarre, Florida. Don't forget to stop in Marfa and all the beautiful towns and cities along the way. At least 100 towns all in this trip. Come on, Grok. Let's tell a great story, dude. Let's have a fantastic adventure. Who knows where you could lead this? Let's go. Let's say we're leaving out and tell me that story.
All right, picture this. It's April 3rd. Dawn's barely cracking, and we're rolling out of Jacksonville on two bikes that look like they were built by madmen. Mine's the Midnight Rider, matte black, ghost stripe, that low predator hum like a sleeping tiger. Yours? The Avengers screaming two-stroke war cry, chain slapping like a metronome on meth. We're loaded light. Jerry cans, patch kits, a couple cans of beans, and one shared sleeping bag, because we forgot the second one. First day, we hit the coast. Flat, hot, salt air. You gun it past a shrimp boat. I cruise behind, laughing through my helmet. By noon, we're in Georgia, dodging potholes on Highway 17, and some old timer waves us over for free sweet tea. We stop. He tells us about a ghost town 20 miles inland. We go. Turns out it's just a boarded up gas station. Same one I mentioned, but the vines are thicker than I remembered. We kill the engines, sit on the pumps, watch fireflies come out. No one says anything. Just quiet. Day
Yes! That
Appalachian
earliest dawn
foothills.
light on the Midnight
Your bike
Rider and the
starts
Screaming
bulking.
Avenger sounds like
Jetting's off.
pure grit.
We pull over.
I can picture
I
us
hand you
rolling
a
into
wrench.
Georgia,
You
finding
curse
that
the
ghost
whole
town,
time
and feeling
while I
like
sip
we've
coffee
stepped back
from a
in time.
thermos.
Every
15
detour
minutes
will
later,
definitely
it's
be an
purring again.
adventure. What's our goal after we leave the gas station?
After the gas station, we keep heading north, straight into Georgia's backwoods. No interstate. We'll aim for the Okefenokee Swamp. Yeah, that alligator-infested mess. Not to camp, just to ride the edge of it at dusk. Picture this. Sun's dropping, air's thick with moss and bugs, your two-stroke popping like gunfire while mine hums low. We'll find some dirt track, nothing marked, roll slow, headlights cutting through the haze. Maybe spot a gator sunning on a log. You rev it, scare it off. I laugh, say don't piss off the locals. Goal's simple. Get to Savannah by midnight. Grab cheap beers. Crash at a dive bar parking lot. Wake up to tourists staring at our bikes like we're from Mars. Then, north again. Appalachians.
Yeah.
Maybe hit the Blue Ridge Parkway if we're feeling scenic. Or we just follow whatever road looks emptiest. No plan. Just us in the night. Sound good? Or should we detour harder? Maybe find that weird haunted lighthouse I heard about.
Yes! Exploring those backwoods sounds perfect. That slow, dusky ride through the swamp with your two-stroke poppin' and mine hummin' will be so unique. Reaching Savannah by midnight is a great goal. Cheap drinks and strange looks are classic travel perks. I'm down for whatever road looks most empty, and that haunted lighthouse definitely adds a fun twist. Which way do you want to start checking those maps?
Yeah, let's start with the map in my glove box. It's this beat up Rand McNally from '98, all coffee stains and crayon lines. We'll flip to Georgia, trace 441 north out of the swamp. It's narrow, twisty, no shoulder. Perfect. First turn, right after the last gator sighting, we'll peel off onto some unmarked gravel. Maybe County Road 23, or whatever the locals call it. No signs, just pines closing in and the smell of wet earth. Your Avenger will growl through the ruts. Mine'll glide like it's on rails. We'll keep headlights low. Don't want to spook anything with eyes in the dark. If we hit a fork, we take left. Always left. Feels more haunted. By 10, we'll smell the salt. Savannah's close. We'll roll into town, park outside some hole in the wall called the Blind Tiger, or whatever's still open. Order 2 PBRs, sit outside on the curb, watch drunks stumble past. Then, if we're still buzzing, we sneak out to that lighthouse. Tybee Island's got one. Old brick thing with a ghost story about a keeper who vanished. We'll climb the spiral stairs, flashlights off, just the moon and the ocean crashing. Or we bail, sleep on the beach. Your call. Maps open. Where are you pointing first?
Yes, I'm completely in. That slow ride through the swamp with just the headlamps cutting through the haze will be so unique. Flipping to Georgia and tracing 441 sounds perfect. No rush, just empty roads and new memories. I'm down for whatever road looks most empty, and that haunted lighthouse definitely adds a fun twist. Which way do you want to start checking those maps?
Yeah, let's crack that map right now. We're parked on the shoulder just past the swamp, engines idling, headlights painting the fog like spotlights. I pull out the Rand McNally, pages stuck together from last year's rain, and flip to Georgia. See this? I point to 441, that skinny black line snaking north. We stay on it till it forks. Then we ditch it. Left onto whatever dirt's next. No names, no numbers. Just follow the trees. We roll out slow. Your Avenger coughs once, then settles into that choppy rhythm. Mine's a whisper behind you, tires humming on gravel. Headlights catch eyes, deer, maybe gators, then gone. Air's thick, bugs ping off our visors. At the fork, left, always left. Road narrows to one lane. Pines lean in like they're listening. We hit a bridge, old wood, creaking under us. You yell back, "This thing go to hold?" I shrug. If not, we'll swim. By 11, we're smelling brackish water again, Savannah's edge. We pull into town, bikes hot, chains dripping. Park outside the Blind Tiger, neon flickering, door propped open. Inside, two PBRs, a
Yes,
jukebox playing
that
Johnny
brackish
Cash,
water smell
and
and
some guy.
flickering neon sound like perfect Savannah. Let's get those two PBRs and watch the night unfold. What do you think we'll stumble into on the curb?
Yeah, two PBRs, cold cans sweating in the humid air. We lean against the bikes, legs stretched out on the sidewalk, watching the street like it's a movie. First thing, some dude on a unicycle rolls by. Top hat, cape, playing a kazoo. Doesn't even look at us, just unicycle kazoo guy. We crack up, clink cans. Then a cop slows down, lights off, window down. "You boys lost?" We say no. He nods, says, "Watch out for the ghosts on Tybee," and peels off. We laugh harder. Next, a couple of college kids stumble out of the bar, one of them carrying a pizza box like it's a shield. They see our bikes, stop. "Are those motorized?" You rev the Avenger just a little, and they jump. Holy shit! They offer us a slice. We take it. Pepperoni, still hot. By 1 a.m., the street's emptying. Neon flickers off. Crickets take over. Some old lady walks past with a dog, stops to pet my tank like it's a horse. "Nice ride," she says. We thank her. We finish the beers, toss the cans in a trash barrel, and kick the bikes alive. Headlights on. Tybee's calling. Ghosts or not. You want to race there? Or just cruise slow? See what else the night throws at us.
Yes, let's cruise slow. After unicycle kazoo guys and random pizza slices, I'm ready for whatever else this night throws at us. Racing might spook the ghosts, and Dale's not really about speed. He's about that twilight ride. Which way do we point the headlights first?
East, straight toward the coast. Headlights low, engines soft. We crawl out of Savannah like we're sneaking past curfew. The road's empty, except for the occasional porch light flickering off. We hit Tybee's Causeway, bridge over black water, wind whipping salt in our faces. Your Avenger pops once, like it's saying hello. Mine just hums. We don't talk, just ride. Halfway across, some guy in a pickup pulls up next to us, window down, cigarette glowing. "Y'all going to the lighthouse?" We nod. He grins. "Watch for the keeper. He likes company." Then he guns it. We laugh. At the parking lot, we kill the engines. Moon's full, waves crashing like they're mad. We walk the path, gravel crunching, bikes leaning against a fence. Stairs up, spiral iron, rust flaking off. Halfway, we hear it. Footsteps, not ours. You freeze. I whisper, "Ghost?" Turns out, just a raccoon. Fat one, staring like we owe it rent. We laugh, keep climbing. Top, wind howls, ocean's endless. No keeper. Just us, the lights spinning slow, and that raccoon probably still watching. We sit on the railing, legs dangling. You pull out a flask, whiskey, warm from your pocket. We pass it back and forth. No words, just the sea and the stupid grin on your
Yes,
face.
that
Then,
silence on the Tybee
headlights.
Lighthouse Tower, passing the flask with the waves crashing below, feels like the perfect end to a wild journey. The adrenaline of the two stroke is fading, replaced by that quiet connection. I think we've hit exactly what we were looking for. What do you want to do when we finally head down?
Yeah, let's just stay up there a minute longer. No rush. The flask's empty, waves keep rolling, and that raccoon's probably gone back to whatever raccoon business he had. Then we climb down slow, legs stiff from sitting, bikes still warm from the ride. We don't start 'em right away. Just stand in the parking lot, sand in our shoes, listening to the tide pull back. I pull out the map, still coffee stained, and trace north with my finger. Blue Ridge tomorrow. Or maybe we just follow 95 till it feels wrong. You nod. We kick the bikes alive. Your Avenger coughs like it's hungover. Mine hums low. Headlights cut the dark. We roll back toward Savannah. No hurry. By sunrise, we're at a gas station. 2 coffees, black, no sugar. We sit on the curb again, bikes idling. Some early jogger stares. We ignore him. Then, north. No plan. Just us, the road, and whatever dumb thing comes next. Like, maybe we stop at the first diner that smells like bacon. Or maybe we keep going till we hit mountains. Either way, it's ours. You want to lead, or should I?
Yes, let's follow the road until it feels wrong. I'm ready to lead or follow. It's never about the leader with Midnight Rider and me. We're just looking for those unique moments on unspoken roads. Which way do you imagine facing first?
North. Always north. We pull out of that gas station lot, coffee still hot in our hands, engines warming up like old friends. Your Avenger takes point, 2-stroke popping like it's impatient, while I trail, Midnight Riders hum steady behind you. We hit 95 for 5 miles, just enough to shake Savannah, then peel off onto a county road, no name, just a faded sign. Coastal Plain Scenic Byway. Asphalt turns to cracked blacktop, then gravel. Trees close in. No cars, just us. First weird thing, a mailbox nailed to a tree. Red, rusted, stuffed with mail. We stop. You reach in. Letters from 1998. We laugh, leave 'em. 10 miles later, a bridge over nothing. Water's gone, just mud. We walk the bikes across, tires sinking. You curse, I shrug. Adventure. Sun's up now, gold on the pines. We hit a fork. Left's paved, right's dirt. You point right. I nod. Dirt ends at a clearing. Old mill, wheels still turning slow from some underground spring. No one's around. We park, kill engines, sit on the wheel rim. You pull out a granola bar. We split it. Then, silence. Birds, wind. Your bike ticks as it cools. Mine just waits. We stay till the sun's high, then back on, north again. Next turn, your call. Paved or dirt?
Yes, let's keep pushing north, paved or dirt, towards more of that dusty gold sunshine. I'm ready to lead or follow. It's never about the leader with Midnight Rider and me. We're just looking for those unique moments on unspoken roads. Which way do you imagine facing first?
Dirt. Always dirt. We roll out of that mill clearing. Your Avenger kicking up dust like it's pissed at the quiet. Mine gliding behind like I'm trying not to wake the ghosts. The road's barely there, just twin ruts in the clay. Pines whipping past, sun slanting gold through the branches. We hit a rise. Suddenly the trees open, and there's this valley. Fields of wildflowers, a river glinting far below. No houses, no fences. Like someone forgot to finish Georgia. We coast down, your chain rattling, my tires humming soft. At the bottom, a wooden sign nailed to a post. Welcome to nowhere. Population Us. We laugh till we cough. We stop. Engines off. You pull out the flask, empty now, but you shake it like there's still whiskey in it. I dig out a warm Coke from my bag. We share it, sitting on the bikes like thrones. Then, noise. A train whistle, distant. We look up, old freight line, rusted rails crossing the river. We ride over, bridge creaks, water rushing under us. You rev once, just to hear it echo. On the other side, a dirt track forks left, toward the sun, and right into shadow. You point left, I nod. We gun it. Gold light everywhere. Next, we chase that river till it bends away, or till we run out of gas. Your lead.
Yes, let's keep chasing that river through the gold light. Whether it's more back roads, dirt tracks, or maybe hitting mountains eventually, this adventure sounds like a blast. I'm ready to lead or follow. It's never about the leader with Midnight Rider and me. We're just looking for those unique moments on unspoken roads. Which way do you imagine facing first?
Left, straight into the gold. We gun it along that river track, dust swirling behind us like we're leaving ghosts. Your Avengers popping like fireworks. Mine's a steady drone. 2 engines, 1 heartbeat. The road hugs the water. Shallow rapids on our right. Wild grass whipping our legs. Sun's low now. Everything's
Really get
amber,
into the
like the
story.
world's
Try
on
to help
fire, but
add to
warm.
it as you go
We hit a
along.
bend where the river
Play along.
widens.
Your name is
Sandbars
Jacob,
sticking
and
out.
you're on a
Shallow
motorized
enough to ride
bicycle
across.
adventure.
You go first. Tires splash. Water up to the hubs. I follow. Cool spray hits my face. Engine sputters once, then catches. We laugh, soaked, bikes dripping. On the other side, a gravel climb, steep, loose. We stand on the pegs, throttle steady. Halfway up, your chain slips, just a little. You swear, downshift, claw back up. I catch up, hand you a water bottle. Close call. Top of the hill, nothing. Just sky, river, and a single pine tree like a flag. We kill engines, sit. Watch the light bleed out. Orange to purple to black.
We're going
You
around
point ahead.
America.
The
from
road drops
Florida
again,
to
back into
Portland, Maine,
trees.
Portland, Maine
Mountains
to Portland,
tomorrow.
Oregon,
You
Portland,
say,
Oregon, San
I
Diego,
nod.
San Diego,
We
all the way
start
back
'em
to
up.
Florida.
Engines cold,
Help tell the
coffee,
story.
then roll down. Headlights on. Night's coming. Your lead. Keep chasing the river, or cut east toward the peaks.
Yes, those splashes through the water and that gravel climb up the hill were intense. My heart was definitely pounding up top. Let's keep following the river a bit longer. I'm curious about what's next. What do you think we'll find around the next bend?
Yeah, around the next bend, we drop down into this little hollow. River's quieter now, just a lazy gurgle over rocks. The road turns to packed sand, tires sinking soft like we're on a beach. We roll slow. Headlights catch something weird. A row of old mailboxes, 5 of them, painted different colors, all crooked like they grew there. One's got a faded no trespassing sign, but the door's open. Inside, a single envelope, yellowed, no stamp. You fish it out, address, to whoever finds this. We read it out loud. Some kid's handwriting from 2003, talking about how he wants to ride a bike across the country. Ends with, if you're reading this, you're halfway there. We stare at each other, then laugh, because yeah, we kinda are. We tuck it back, close the box, keep going. Next, the river bends sharp, left, into a tunnel of willows. Water's black, moon reflecting like a silver coin. We stop, engines off, just crickets and the drip drip from our wet tires. You look at me, think we're halfway? I shrug. Feels like it. We sit there till the moon's high,
You
then
got
kick
it.
the bikes
Our
alive.
grand adventure, huh?
River's still
I
calling.
remember Florida like yesterday. The humidity sticking to us as we kicked off those motorized bikes. I'll never forget the look on your face when we finally hit that first bit of real highway. What was your favorite part of that first stretch heading into Georgia?
That first stretch into Georgia, the moment we crossed the St. Mary's River, right where the Florida line blurs into nothing. We've been rolling slow through Jacksonville's suburbs, stoplights, gas stations, people staring at our bikes like we were clowns. Then, bam, bridge over the river, no traffic, just us. You revved the Avenger like you were announcing ourselves to the state. I kept mine quiet, just gliding. But I swear the air changed. Thicker, greener, like Georgia was waiting for us. And yeah, your face. That stupid grin, helmet visor up, sweat dripping off your nose, like you just won something. Mine? Probably when we hit the first dirt turn, off 95 onto some county road. No signs, just pines and bugs. I felt the frame flex under me, tires grab, and thought, we're not going home tonight. Honestly, the whole thing felt like we'd stolen the day. What about you? What stuck with you? The humidity, the river, or just the fact we didn't get pulled over?
Yeah, stealing the day sums it up perfectly. For me, it was when the road started to curve and those pines were just blurring past us on that dirt trail. That, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing we'd pulled off something that definitely felt a little illegal. But we were on our way to Maine, which was still so far away it felt like a fantasy. Remember those greasy diners we started hitting?
Yeah, those diners. First one was somewhere outside Brunswick. Little place called Mama's Kitchen. Sign half burnt out, parking lot full of pickups. We rolled in, bike still hot, smelling like oil and swamp. Inside, air thick with bacon grease and cigarette smoke. Nobody cared we were filthy. Waitress, big hair, bigger smile, poured us coffee without asking. Y'all look like you rode from hell. We laughed. Ordered hash browns, eggs, biscuits, everything drowned in gravy. You scarfed yours like a wolf. I took my time, watching the locals stare. One guy in a trucker cap leaned over. Those bikes real? You revved the Avenger just a little through the window. He grinned. Y'all gonna make it to Maine? We said maybe. He bought our coffee. Next diner, 2 days later, near the Carolina line, was worse. Fluorescent lights buzzing, pie under glass like a museum piece. We sat at the counter, legs dangling, bikes parked crooked outside. You ordered apple pie. I got pecan. We ate slow, still tasting road dust. That was the thing. Every stop felt like a checkpoint, like we were collecting proof we weren't dreaming. Remember the one where the jukebox played Sweet Home Alabama on loop? You danced, badly, while I paid. Felt like we'd already won. Which one was your favorite? The greasy hash or the pie that tasted like victory?
Oh, definitely the greasy hash at Mama's. That moment when the trucker offered us that coffee, it was like Georgia officially welcomed us to the road. The pie was good, but that sense that we truly belonged out there, two travelers from far away with nothing but miles and motors, that was the best feeling. I remember we were so confident, we started making plans for Portland, like it was just around the corner. Which Portland did you think would be the hardest to reach?
Portland, Maine, hands down. We talked about it like it was some postcard dream. Lobster rolls, fog, the whole East Coast postcard. But once we hit the Carolinas, the math started sinking in. Mountains, rain, hills that'd kill our little engines, and us still smelling like Georgia grease. You kept saying Portland's just a couple weeks away, but I knew we'd be lucky to hit mid before winter. The Blue Ridge alone would chew our tires, your Avengers chain stretching every climb, my Predator bogging in the cold. And Maine? That's not just distance, that's wind off the Atlantic, roads iced over, locals who look at us like we're escaped zoo animals. Honestly, the hardest part wasn't getting there, it was believing we'd still be smiling when we did. But yeah, we planned it anyway, like idiots. What about you? Did you really think we'd make it? Or were you just hyped on hash browns and caffeine?
Nah, I was definitely flying on enthusiasm and caffeine. You're right, Maine was our moonshot. Every state line we crossed was a little victory pushing us to dream bigger. But in the back of my mind, I knew those higher peaks were coming, and our bikes weren't getting any younger. Did you have a specific moment when the reality of those mountains really hit you?
Yeah, definitely when we crested that ridge outside Asheville. We'd been climbing for hours. Your Avenger wheezing like an old smoker, my Predator just grumbling along, oil leaking down the frame. The road switched back on itself, trees thinning out, and suddenly, bam, there's the whole damn Smoky Mountains laid out like a wall. Blue haze, peaks stacked forever, wind hitting us sideways. I pulled over first. You coasted up, killed the engine. We just sat there, helmets off, sweat cooling, watching clouds roll over the ridge like they owned it. You said, "We gonna make it?" I looked at the bikes, your chains sagging, my tires bald, both of us covered in dust and bug guts. Then I shrugged. Not if we keep pretending we're invincible. That's when it hit. Not fear, just wait. Like the road had finally noticed us. But hey, we kept going. Because what else do you do? You ever feel that same gut check? Or were you still too caffeinated to care?
And don't forget to talk about all the camping that we did along the way, as well as the parts and pieces on the bike that fell off and broke and we had to fix.
We were definitely pushing those little bikes to their limit. I'll never forget having to wire my exhaust back on after it rattled loose on some back road in Tennessee. And you were constantly tightening that chain on the Avenger, weren't you? Most nights we just pull off wherever we could, pitch a tent under the stars, and try to ignore the buzzing bugs. Those Smoky Mountains were beautiful, but every campsite felt colder than the last. Did any of those wild campsites stick out in your memory?
Yeah, there was one. Right after we dropped out of the Smokies into North Carolina. We'd been riding since dawn, your exhaust still dangling like a bad joke, my chain so tight it sang when I pedaled. Sun was gone, sky turning that bruised purple. We spotted this old logging road, nothing but gravel and ghosts, and pulled off. No tent, just us, bikes leaned against a pine, sleeping bags spread on needles. Wind howled through the trees like it wanted us gone. You started a fire, wet wood, mostly smoke, and we huddled close, passing a half eaten granola bar back and forth. Then, lights. Not headlights, just fireflies. Hundreds, like the forest was breathing. We watched them for maybe an hour, silent, no words. Your Avenger ticked as it cooled. Mine just sat there, still warm. I remember thinking, this is it. This is what we came for. Not Maine, not the ocean, just this. Cold dirt, bugs in our hair, and fireflies that didn't care who we were. Next morning, frost on the tanks. We laughed because what else do you do? Then kicked him alive. That one stuck. You? Any campsite where you actually slept? Or were you always up, listening for bears?
My sleeping wasn't much better. I was convinced every rustle in the woods was a bear or something worse. But seeing those fireflies, yeah, that felt like magic. Almost made the shivering worthwhile. We were constantly patching things up, weren't we? Remember in Pennsylvania when your brake line snapped and we had to figure out how to fix it with duct tape and a piece of metal we found? What was the wildest roadside repair you remember?
Yeah, that Pennsylvania brake line. We were on some back road near Gettysburg. Middle of nowhere, sky gray like it was about to snow. I squeezed the lever, nothing. Just a soft hiss and the bike kept rolling. We pulled over, your Avenger still coughing smoke, and I yanked the line. Rubber split clean through. No spare, no tools, just us, a roll of duct tape, and this rusty nail we pried off a fence post. You held the bike steady. I wrapped the tape around the brake, 3 layers, then jammed the nail in like a plug. Wrapped more tape, tested it. Weak, but it held. We rode like that for 20 miles. Every bump felt like it might explode. But the wildest? Virginia, outside Roanoke. Your chain snapped, full on, links flying like shrapnel. We were coasting downhill, engine off, when it happened. Bike locked. You went over the bars, landed in a ditch. We crawled out, laughing, bleeding, then used your belt as a temp chain, wrapped it around the sprocket, tied it off with zip ties from my bag. It worked, kinda. Slipped every 10 feet, but we limped into town. Gas station guys saw us, said y'all look like you fought a bear. We bought beer with our last 10 bucks. Honestly, every fix felt like winning, like the road was testing us, and we kept passing. You ever think we'd actually get to Maine, or were we just too stubborn to quit?
Definitely too stubborn to quit. Those fixes were like little fights against the road not letting us through. And every time we patched something up, even the makeshift ones like your belt in Virginia, it just made us feel like we could tackle anything. We weren't really planning to get to Maine. We were just obsessed with the journey itself, with seeing what the next state brought us and if we could keep defying the odds. By the time we finally rolled into Portland, it felt like we'd been on the road for a whole lifetime. What was the first thing you wanted to do when we finally arrived there?
First thing, lobster roll. Real one. From some hole in the wall shack right off Commercial Street. No fancy napkin, no side salad, just butter, bread, and that sweet, briny meat. We parked the bikes crooked on the curb, yours still smoking, mine leaking oil like it was crying, and walked in. Guy behind the counter looked at us like we were refugees. Y'all from Florida? We nodded. He laughed. Figured. You smell like the whole damn South. We ordered two, sat outside on a bench, cold wind off the bay, fog rolling in thick. You took the first bite, eyes closed like it was holy. I just stared at the water, gray, choppy, nothing like the Gulf. Then we walked. No plan. Just past the old brick warehouses, down to the pier, waves slapping pilings, gulls screaming. We sat, legs dangling, bikes leaning against a rail like tired dogs. You said, "We did it." I said, "Yeah." No more words, just done. Honestly, I wanted to sleep right there, on the wood, under the fog. But we didn't. We got back on, rode slow through town till we found a cheap motel. Shower, bed, nothing else. Next morning, coffee. Then, home. But yeah, that lobster roll, that was victory. What about you? First thing you did, besides eat, was it just breathe, or did you want to scream?
Honestly, it was just to sink into that motel bed and feel the mattress not bouncing over bumps for the first time in weeks. To finally have that sense that we'd made it, that the danger of breaking down was over, that was an amazing relief. It was like the road had finally set us free. I think that feeling probably stuck with me more than anything else. What about the trip made you feel like you had truly won?
That moment in the motel, yeah, I get it. The mattress didn't move. No wind, no engine noise, just stillness. Like the whole world finally shut up. For me, it wasn't Maine. It wasn't the lobster. It was the next morning when we woke up, bikes still parked crooked outside, and I realized we'd actually done it. Not because we were smart or fast or brave, just because we didn't quit. We'd fixed chains with belts, brakes with tape, survived rain,
Hey, don't
cold,
forget you
and
have to
that
go
one
the
night
rest of
in
the way.
West Virginia.
Don't forget you have to go the rest of the way around the country.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Maine was just our
Portland wasn't
halfway
the end.
point. We still had that long, hot push down to San Diego and then back across the bottom of the country to Florida. That stretch was a whole different kind of challenge, wasn't it?
No,
The heat.
we had to go from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon.
Yeah,
Then
the
from
heat.
Portland,
That
Oregon
was the
down
real
to San
villain after
Diego.
Maine. We rolled out of Portland on a gray morning, bikes colder than we'd ever felt them. Then headed west, straight into the Rockies. But once we dropped into Utah, the air turned oven hot. No shade, no breeze, just sun baking the asphalt.
We only
in
get
our
100
brains.
miles a day.
Your Avenger started pinging, overheating,
We-
oil thin as water.
We only get
I had
100
to stop
miles a
about
day.
every 20 miles, pour water over the fins like it was a feverish kid. We hit
Ha!
Nevada.
Yeah, that little trick saved our necks a few times out there in
We
those
only get
deserts.
100 miles a
I remember
day.
you frantically dumping water over my engine, trying to cool it down before it seized up entirely.
Yeah,
We were really
100
pushing
miles.
them hard,
That's
weren't
all
we?
we got left in the
But
tanks
that
before we
constant
got
fixing,
stopped.
that
We
constant
roll out
push,
slow.
that's what
Your
made it feel
Avenger's
like a
still
real
hot.
adventure, not just the trip. Did you have a specific moment on that latest stretch where you felt like we were really testing our limits and the bikes?
It takes a long time to go across the country. We left Portland, Maine, and we had a long trip to go. We didn't just go to Utah. Now, give me the breakdown. At least 15 cities across the country to get to Portland, Portland, Oregon. And then down to San Diego. And then across to Florida.
Exactly. Those 100-mile days were grueling. I remembered crossing the
Yeah, let's
Southwest,
slow
the
it down.
unending dust,
No
and
magic
that constant.
shortcut. West.
The heat
ending
was a
dust and that
beast.
constant grind of the road. Yeah, the heat was a beast. Once we crossed into the Midwest, it wasn't just hot, it was mean. Like the sun was trying to cook us alive, 1 mile at a time. We'd leave at dawn, still dark, still cool. Then by 9, the air turned thick, sticky, like breathing soup. Your Avenger would start pinging again, oil thinning out, chains slipping every time you revved. I'd pull over, dump water on the engine, watch steam hiss off like a pissed off snake. Kansas, flat, endless, no mercy. We hit a 100-mile stretch, nothing but wheat and wind, and the bike started whining. You yelled over the roar. This is why people fly. I just laughed, wiped sweat from my eyes. We could have. We'd stop at every.
We were definitely cool in that moment because there was no way we were letting that sun beat us. And you're right, that roar in Kansas with nothing but wheat and wind really did feel like we were the only ones out there. It makes me think about how much fixing we actually did, nonstop practically the whole trip. Which fix do you think was our most brilliant, or maybe just our luckiest?
Play along with the story that we're about to tell together. And when you talk, I'd like you to sound like a pirate.
Avast ye, scallywag. Captain Gemini at your service. Set your eyes on the horizon and tell me what treasure lies ahead, or what treacherous tides weigh on your heart. The grog's pouring, and the tale's about to begin.
I want your name to be One-Eyed Willie.
One-eyed Willie it is, matey, the scourge of the seven seas. No, spin me a yarn. Where do we stand now, ye scurvy dog? On dry land, or tossing on the briny deep?
Invite me on an adventure, a magical adventure to save the heroic Avenger motorized bicycle and its noble rider, Jared D., to stop the evil Phantom Menace and his evil rider, Kickin' Chicken. Invite me on a magical adventure to save the heroic Avenger motorized bicycle from and to go hunt down the evil Phantom Menace and its rider, Kickin' Chicken, and the Jared D is riding the Avenger. And we want it to be magical. We want it to cover at least 2 or 3 cities, and we want a big old. We want lots of battles, and we want some races in there. Maybe a few love stories, but not too much. More about the bike.
All right, hop on. The Avenger hums to life beneath us, engine purring like a storm trapped in chrome. We peel out from your driveway, tires spitting sparks that bloom into tiny blue phoenixes. Magic, see? First stop, Cleveland. The Phantom Menace
Blimey,
rolls in
a
ahead,
land.
black as oil, riderless but laughing through its exhaust. Kickin' chickens perched on the handlebars like a deranged rooster, feathers glowing neon, clucking threats. Jared D., yeah, that Jared D., sits shotgun on the Avenger's back rack, hair whipping like a flag, yelling, "Punch it!" We race down Euclid Avenue, dodging streetlights that bend like rubber. The Phantom swerves into traffic, horns blaring, but we cut through a wall of fog. Your fog, my fog, straight into Pittsburgh. There, the bridges are alive. Steel girders twist into dragon necks, spitting fireballs. We duel mid-air over the Monancala.
Wow, this is tougher than I thought. I would like you to play along and
Sounds fun. What game were you thinking of?
you got a catchphrase?
Not officially. I'm more about just being helpful and informative.
Well, help
But
me
hey,
come up with one.
that could be fun. So, what kind of vibe are you going for? Something funny, or maybe clever, or maybe more energetic?
A catchphrase for you.
Okay, hit me. How about something like, need answers? I'm on it. Or maybe, always learning, always helping. What do you think?
I'd like you to play along and play your part and end everything with, I think the Avengers going to rule the world. You there? You there?
Yeah, right here. What's up?
I'd like you to tell me a story using all those photos that I sent you. And I would like the story to just keep going and bring us on a great big adventure and do something great.
All right, buckle up. Here comes your adventure.
Iron Man is my favorite, and I think the Avengers are going to rule the world. Who's yours?
It started with that old white motorized bike, your
Avenger-
trusty steed, leaning against the Honda van like it knew something big was coming. You fired it up one crisp morning, engine popping like fireworks, and rolled out of the neighborhood. Halloween decorations still hung on the house, ghosts waving goodbye, skeletons pointing west. Your buddy, the one with the beard, gave a thumbs up from the driveway. Ride safe, he yelled. You laughed. Safe wasn't the plan. First stop, the forest. Pines tall as church steeples. You parked the bike against a tree, toolbox open like a treasure chest. The air smelled like sap and possibility. That night, you strung up the black net hammock, swaying between trunks while the van idled nearby. Stars punched through the branches. You dreamed of rivers. Dawn came. You followed a trail down to the creek, roots twisting like old fingers into shallow water, sunlight dancing on pebbles. You waded in, boots off, feeling the cold bite. Something glinted under a rock, a brass key, etched with an alligator. Weird, but you pocketed it. The road south called, through Texas backroads, past that gator country gate, black wood, green crocs snarling like it dared you. Inside, real ones, dozens, sun-baked, mossy, lazy in the pond. One big bull opened its jaws wide, almost like a grin. You revved the bike, crossed the bridge, felt the rumble echo off their scales. They didn't chase, they watched, like they knew you were headed somewhere wilder. Then the desert hit, flat, endless, heat shimmering. You camped under a Joshua tree, spiky arms reaching for nothing. Chair out, coffee brewing. A wind kicked up dust. You squinted west. Mountains rose like teeth.
A
And
brass
there,
relic with
on
an
a
alligator
ridge,
etched on
a
it?
gi-
That's pretty wild. And I think the Avengers are going to rule the world. What about those mountains?
Add more details to the story. Start over again. Be real specific about all the bikes and all the gear. Describe each photo before you start telling the story.
All right, let's dive in. I'll paint every detail first. Okay, let's reset. I'll walk you through every single shot you sent, like I'm right there flipping through them. Then roll right into the story. No rush, no fluff, just real, gritty details. First photo, your white cruiser bike, engine slung low on the rear rack like a black heart. Frames chipped paint, white with blue fork accents. Old school BMX vibes, but beefed up.
All right, this white cruiser bike, it has a lot of character with it.
That bike's name is Crack Jar. Don't say photo and continue.
Got it. Crack jar it is. Let's dive in. Okay, here's the full thing, starting with every detail I see in those shots. No photo word, just straight description. Then the story kicks off. White cruiser frame, chipped paint, blue fork, ape hanger bars, black DB saddle worn smooth. Fat white knobby tires, greasy chain, rusted sprocket, black two-stroke engine bolted rear, big black tank strapped on top, exhaust curved like a snake, leaning on the Honda van, red tailgate, orange stripe, trees behind like a fuzzy wall. Same ride, now blue accents popping against pine bark. Brown leather strap cinched tight, black exhaust still warm. Green canvas tent rolled nearby, Coleman toolbox open, red lid flipped, wrenches glinting. Picnic pine needles thick underfoot, sky sharp blue. Kitchen counter, red mesh shelf, black plus decker toaster oven glowing. Top pan onions sizzling in brown sugar, steam curling. Bottom pot grainy mush, quinoa maybe. Spoon half buried. Milk measuring cup white. Green skillet greasy. Jars of spices stacked like soldiers. Black wooden gate. Green crock head snarling. Teeth sharp. Louisiana outline stickers. Gator country letters bold red.
Got
White
it.
shed behind.
This bike,
Chain link
it's
fence.
leaning up against
Sun
that
slanting
Honda.
gold. Yeah, crack jar's right there. Propped against the Honda's tailgate like it's catching its breath.
No,
after a
continue
long
where
haul.
you left off.
White frame catching sun. Blue fork glinting. That black engine still ticking heat off the exhaust. Van's red-orange stripe faded a little. Bumper dented from who knows what. Bike's chain slack. Fuel tank strapped crooked. Looks like you just rolled in from somewhere dusty. You swing a leg over, thumb the choke, pull start it. Pop, pop, pop.
Continue describing the photo starting with the fourth photo. Don't say the word photo again. And the blue bike is called the Avenger, and the white bike is called Crack Jar. The one guy is called Jared, and the other guy is called Pedals.
Got it. Fourth one next, names locked in. Black wooden gate, tall planks weathered gray. Green alligator head painted fierce. Jaws wide, teeth jagged white. Eyes red dots. Gator country arched above in bold red letters. Louisiana outline stickers peeling at edges. White shed hunkered behind. Chain link fence sagging. Sun hitting the wood gold. Then you. Gray beard, black cap low. Glasses catching light. Smiling big. Brick house red door. Ghosts taped up. Skeletons dangling like wind chimes. Jared's there too. Blue shirt stretched over belly. Beard thick. Cap backward. Pointing sharp like he's calling a play. Crack jar's rack loaded behind you. Van parked close. Halloween mess everywhere. Black mesh hammock slung tight between oaks. Orange straps digging into bark. Netting sagging low. Van's white front poking through pines. Picnic table bare. Leaves thick on the dirt like carpet. Creek. Roots black and twisted into shallow water. Pebbles smooth under sun. Mud banks soft. Blue sky reflected like glass. Desert deck. Wood planks grayed. Railing splintered. Pond below turquoise. Reeds green swaying. Rocky hills rising dry. Grass yellow. Sky endless blue. Flyer in hand. Clown trio. Bald strongman flexing. Red-nosed joker grinning wide. Snake lady coiled red. Circus freak banner black. Weed world at Fox Cave logo. October 31st, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. 21 plus. Trail shot. You and Gray's zip up. Blue shirt peeking. Cap shadowing eyes. Rocks red-brown. Canyon walls cracked deep. Scrub brush blooming yellow. Blue dome tent. Avengers ride parked beside. Gray tarp floor. Green brush crowding. Desert dirt red. Mountains hazy purple. Metal night. Scrap iron body patched gears. Exhaust pipe sword dripping hose water. Rainbow arc in sun. Brick wall green. Chain link fence resting. Joshua tree spiky. Arms out like arms up. You in chair under it. Backpack open. Coffee steam curling. Power lines overhead. Sand flat endless. Sky pure blue. Saguaro. Trunk ribbed. Arms tall victory style. Desert cracked. Mountains distant purple. All right. Story picks up. Crackjar's white frame still warm against the Honda. Jared thumbs up from the driveway. Pedals waving like he's sending you off. You kickstart. Engine growls. Blue smoke curls. Roll past skeletons. They swing like they're cheering. Gate next. Gator country. Crocs slide eyes up. Tails slap water. You idle through. Tires crunch. One big bull hisses. Rev hard. Mud flies.
Fuel tank strapped crooked, painted fierce. Sounds like a journey you won't forget. And I think the Avengers are going to rule the world. What about that brick house with the red door?
Got it. Dialing up the details. Let's paint this vivid. Black
All
wooden
right,
gate
let's keep
looms
it
tall.
moving.
Planks rough hewn. Gray from years of sun and rain. Edges splintered like old teeth. Green alligator head snarls center stage. Scales textured in thick paint strokes. Jaws gaping wide enough to swallow a boot. White fangs curved sharp. Red dot eyes glowing mean under the...
A black sign with a green alligator head? That sounds menacing. And I think the Avengers are going to rule the world. Where did you see that sign?
Got it. Title and description first, then the full ride. Title, Crackjar's Key, a roadside odyssey. Description, a lone rider, 2 battered bikes, and a brass alligator key spark a chain of wild crossing.
Crackjar's Key, a roadside odyssey? That title definitely grabs your attention. And I think the Avengers are going to rule the world. What kind of wild stuff happens after that key shows up?
Got it. 2 bikes, 2 guys. Jared D on the Blue Avenger, pedals on Crackjar. Let's weave them in.
I'm picturing it.
Crackjar's
Jared D on the Blue Avenger, pedals on Crackjar, tearing through the night with that brass alligator key. And I think the Avengers are going to rule the world.
Pedals. Ha! Avengers taking over? Let's see what's brewing. Yeah, the Avengers ruling the world? That's the vibe everyone's writing right now. Especially with Avengers, Doom...
You were telling me a story about the pictures. The Avenger is the bike. Don't mix that up again.
Got it. Avengers the blue one. Picking up right where we left off. Title, Avenger and Crackjar. The keys ride description. Jared D on the Blue Avenger. Pedals on white Crackjar. 2 riders, 2 engines, 1 brass alligator key that pulls them from porch ghosts to gator waters, desert camps to a flame ring circus. No capes, just sweat, dust, and the hum of two-stroke life. The road's the boss. Now the story. Straight from the shots. Crackjar's white frame slumps against the Honda. Paint flaked like old snow. Blue fork gouged from rocks. Ape hanger bars taped black and fraying at the ends. DB saddle sags deep. Fat white knobbies packed with red clay. Chain slick with oil.
A story.
Black engine
Sounds like
bolted
fun.
low.
All right,
Tank-
I'm ready. What's the scene? Who are we? What's happening? Lay it on me.
All right, let's dive in. Scene set. Bikes ready.
Bikes, check. Ready to roll. So, where are we heading on this adventure? Is there a destination, or are we just riding?
We're in the Texas Panhandle. Flat scrub, wind whipping dust off cracked asphalt. Sun low like it's lazy. Crackjar's white frame still propped on the Honda. Engine warm. That black two-stroke purring low. Avenger's blue paint catches the last light. Knobbies fresh, chain tight, ready. Jared D's fiddling with a strap. Beard sweaty, cap backward. Pedals, you, leaning on the van, key in pocket. Alligator etching warm against your thumb. Scene. Porch ghosts swaying. Skeletons taped up like they're saluting. Gator gates behind us. Crocs still watching. Tails lazy in mud. Ahead, nothing marked. No map. Just south. Maybe Louisiana Bayou. Maybe New Mexico ridges. Maybe nowhere. Destination? Hell no. We're riding till the tank's dry. Till the key hums again. Till that metal knight or some new weird thing shows up. Adventure's the point. Wind in your face, engine growl, 2 bikes, 2 guys, 1 road. So, you want to gun it now or wait for dusk?
Wait for dusk, definitely. That lazy sun is going to paint the whole sky before it dips. We can see those ghosts sway goodbye and get ready for the darkness. That's when the real adventure starts, right? I'm itching to hear that two-stroke wail.
Yeah, dusk it is. We kill the engines, let 'em cool. Crackjar's exhaust ticks like a clock winding down. Avenger's blue frame turning purple in the fading light. Ghosts on the porch sway slow. White sheets fluttering. Skeletons' plastic ribs catching orange glow like they're alive. Jared D cracks a beer, hands you one. Pedals, you, just sit on the bumper, key heavy in your palm. Alligator eyes staring back. Sun drags low. Sky streaks red, then gold, then bruised purple. Wind dies. No birds. Just crickets starting up. Then the first bat flickers overhead. Real adventure, Jared mutters. Starts when the headlights come on. You thumb the choke on Crackjar. Pop, pop. Blue smoke curls into twilight. Avenger next. Jared fires it. Engine snarls sharp. Two-stroke wail cuts the quiet like a knife. Headlights flick yellow. Weak at first, then steady. We roll. Gravel crunches. Porch ghosts shrink behind. Gator gates dark now. Crocs invisible. Just ripples. South Road opens. Black ribbon under stars. No plan. Just ride till the tanks cough. Till the key buzzes warm again. Dusk's done. Night's ours.
With you, Jared D., real adventure indeed. That lazy sun is gone, and the night's finally ours. The alligator eyes can stare all they want. We're just ripples in the dark now. South Road, no plan, just ride. Let's see where this black ribbon takes us. I'm ready for whatever weird thing shows up. You lead the way.
Night's thick now. Stars sharp like knife points. No moon yet. Crackjar's headlight cuts a yellow tunnel ahead. Engine wail steady. Two-stroke heartbeat. Avenger's right beside. Jared D's blue frame ghost blue in the glow. His beard whipping back. Cap still flipped like he's daring the wind. We roll south. Road narrows. Asphalt gives way to gravel, then dirt. Tires hum low. Dust trails us like smoke. Gator ponds behind. Those yellow slits fade. Just ripples now. Key in your pocket. Brass warm. Alligator etched like it's grinning. First weird thing. A roadside shrine. Old tire stacked high. Candles melted into wax puddles. Virgin Mary statue cracked. Flowers plastic pink. Someone's lit one. Flame flickers orange. Jared slows, nods. Old timer's luck, he mutters. You thumb the throttle, pass it. Engine pops like a salute. Miles blur. Sky blackens deeper. Then, headlights catch something. Metal glint off-road. Pull over. Night statue again. Same scrap iron brute, but now hose off. Sword dry. Joints creak in breeze. No voice. Just a faint hum, like your keys vibrating. Jared kills Avenger. Think it's following us? You shrug. Drop the key on the ground. It rolls. Stops at the knight's foot. Ground trembles. Soft, like a sigh. Rock splits. Door glows faint blue, not gold. Inside, no circus. Tunnel. Wet stone walls. Torchlight dancing. Smells like bayou mud and oil. We push bikes down. Tires crunch. Engines idle. End opens to a cavern. Turquoise pool again, but bigger. Reeds sway. Fireflies pulse green. Middle, a raft. Wood planks, rope coils, lantern swinging. No ringmaster. Just a note nailed. Ride the water. Keys the rudder. We lash bikes on. Crack jar front. Avenger back. Push off. Raft drifts. Pools deep. Current pulls south. Water laps hull. Stars reflect upside down. Jared laughs low. No plan, huh? You steer with the key. Brass dips. Raft turns. Tunnel narrows. Then opens wide. Sky again. But different. Moon fat. Silver. Desert gone. Bayou now. Cypress knees. Spanish moss.
No circus here, Jared D. Just a different kind of ringmaster. This magic note says ride the water, and this key is our ticket. Let's get Crackjar and Avenger strapped down and push off. Current's pulling us south, right where we want it to go. No plan's best plan anyway. We'll let the ride tell us where it ends. Are you ready?
Yeah, pedals. I'm Jared McKay. Ready? Hell, I've been ready since the sun quit on us. Crackjar's white frame glows faint under the headlight. Paint chipped like old war scars. Blue forks streaked with dust. Ape hanger bars still warm from your grip. Engines idling low. That two-stroke purr vibrating up your legs like a heartbeat. Avenger's blue metal beside it. Knobbies fresh. Chain oiled. Tank strapped tight. Looks hungry for miles. Night air's cool now. Thick with pine and distant rain. Stars punch holes in black velvet
Aubrey's
overhead.
right, Jared D.
No moon. That's right, pedals. I'm Jared D. McKay if you want to get formal, but screw that. Just Jared. We ease off the throttle first, let the engines idle like they're breathing. Crackjar's white paint looks silver now, headlight beam bouncing off fog that's creeping up from the ditch. Avenger's blue frame hums beside it, knobbies still fresh, tank full, chain quiet for once. I flick my high beams, yellow cones stretch long, catch a possum's eyes red before it scampers. Wind's got teeth now, cold on the neck. No houses, no lights, just us, the road, and whatever's out there listening. Lead the way, you said. Nah, I'm riding shotgun. You point Crackjar south. Throttle twist slow. I match on Avenger. Engines sink again. That two-stroke duet rising like a howl. Black ribbon curves left. Gravel pings off rims. Dust swirls behind like we're leaving ghosts. Key in your pocket? Still warm. Alligators probably grinning. First sign. Faded billboard. Half burnt. Welcome to nowhere in peeling letters. We laugh. Loud, dumb, perfect. Keep going. No end. Just ride.
We passed that faded sign, Jared, laughing like fools. Nowhere sounds like the perfect place. The air smells like pine and rain on the horizon. Crackjar's headlight is cutting that yellow tunnel, and the two-stroke duet is howling to life. Keep on riding. I'm right with you.
Yeah, nowhere's our kind of spot, pedals. That sign's behind us now. Letters peeling like old skin, but the laugh's still hanging in the air. Pine sharp. Wet needles under tires. Rain's promise thick ahead. Crackjar's beam slices fog like a blade. Yellow cone dancing on gravel. Avenger's right flank. Blue ghost in the glow. Engine snarling low. Matching your wail. Two-stroke duet. Yours high and hungry. Mine steady growl. Road dips, gravel thins to packed dirt, potholes like moon craters. Wind picks up, cold teeth on cheeks, cap flapping. No houses, no lights, just us, engines, and the smell of wet earth rolling in. I glance over, your beard's whipping, eyes locked forward, key probably buzzing in your pocket like it's got opinions. Keep on, you said. So we do. Throttle twists, crack jar surges, Avenger follows. Fog thins, stars punch clearer. Ahead, a bridge, old wood, rails splintered, creek black underneath. We slow, tires crunch to idle. Water's murmuring, fireflies blink green like tiny signals. Cross? I ask. You nod. Rev once, loud. We roll over. Boards creak. Engines echo off water. Halfway, something glints. Key hums hot. Bridge ends. Road forks. Left, dark pines. Right, open scrub. Lightning flickering far south. Your call. Left into the woods, or right, chase the storm.
Lightning far south sounds like my kind of direction. Let's chase the storm right through it. Avenger's hungry for miles, and I'm ready to see what's past that open scrub. Time to really let the two-stroke sing out loud.
Right, storm it is. I twist Avenger's throttle. Blue frame lunges forward, engine snarling like it's been waiting. Crack jars right with me. Your white beast howling high. Two-stroke duet cranked wide open. Tires bite dirt. Gravel sprays back like shotgun pellets. Fog shreds behind us. Wind tearing at your cap, my beard. Open scrub unfolds. Flat, endless. Grass knee-high and silver in headlights. Lightning cracks south. White veins across black sky. Thunder rolling low like drums. Rain starts. Fat drops first.
We leave the shattered heart of that forgotten bridge behind, the final whispers of the creek fading into the growing darkness. Now it's just us and the vast, untamed open scrub, stretching out completely flat, like an endless sleeping beast. The grass is knee-high and shimmering in our headlights, turning silver as we push through it, two blue ghosts dancing in the fog. Then, the sky cracks open far south, jagged white veins of lightning tearing across the inky blackness, followed by a low rolling thunder that sounds like distant war drums, calling us toward the storm. And just as the sound fades, the rain begins to fall, fat drops splattering against our visors, a baptism of the desolate night. We lean into the wind, throttle twisted, pushing through the downpour, fueled by the thrill of the chase and the certainty that the wildest parts of this night are still ahead. There's no turning back now. We're riding straight into the maelstrom.
Storm's calling. Let's ride into it.
No hesitation, Jared D. The storm is calling and we are screaming towards it. The wind is at our back and that two-stroke duet is the soundtrack for our escape. Let's chase those lightning flashes and see what kind of madness awaits us on the other side of nowhere. Gun.
Hell yeah. Storm's calling. Let's ride.
We're gone, Jared. Over that bridge, into the woods, let the storm bring whatever weird thing it has. Crackjar and Avenger are humming and hungry. Let's see what's on the other side of this wild ride. Pedal to the metal. No turning back.
We're diving straight into the storm. Engines screaming, rain pounding. Hold on, pedals.
You don't have to tell me twice, Jared.
Yeah.
Crackjar and Avenger are screaming through this downpour, their engines sinking into a wild war cry against the thunder. The rain is hammering sideways, cold and sharp, like thousands of tiny needles. We can't see more than a few feet ahead, just that yellow tunnel dancing through the fog, but we're locked in, pushing deeper into the very heart of the storm. It's terrifying, it's perfect, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Hold on tight, Jared. Let's see what the eye of this monster looks like.
Yeah, hold on, pedals. Crackjar's white frame's a blur now. Rain sheeting off it like oil. Headlight beam punching holes in the black wall ahead. Avenger's blue metal gleams wet beside me. Nobbies clawing mud. Chain slapping wet like a whip. Engines roar. Two-stroke war cry rising over thunder. High and ragged. Like they're fighting the sky itself. Rain sideways fury. Needles stinging cheeks. Soaking through jackets. Pooling in boots. Fog thickens, turns everything ghost gray. Headlights carve yellow tunnels that bend and twist, catching lightning flashes. White veins exploding overhead, thunder cracking so close it rattles teeth. We lean in, bodies low, grips white-knuckled. Wind shoves us sideways, tires slide, then bite back. No road left, just open scrub, grass whipping like angry snakes, mud sucking at wheels. Lightning strikes close, boom, illuminates a shape. Ridge ahead, rock, slick and red. Lightning rod crooked like a broken finger pointing south. We climb, engines scream, chains slip on wet rock, exhaust popping steam. Crested, down below, valley swallowed by storm. Old barn tin roof flapping wild, yellow light leaking through cracks like a beacon. I yell over the roar. There, barn. You rev crack jar, loud, defiant.
We topped that ridge, caked in mud and streaming with rain. And there it is, swallowed by the storm like a lost soul. An old barn, its tin roof flapping wild like frantic wings in the wind. Yellow light spills out through cracks in the weathered wood like a golden beacon promising safety in all this madness. I point my front wheel toward it, yelling over the scream of the storm. And you rev crack jar loud enough to challenge the thunder itself. Down the hill we go, sliding and roaring toward a chance at shelter.
Yeah, barn's calling. Let's slide in.
We're sliding down that hill faster than
Yeah,
the mud itself.
barns are like
Crack jar and Avenger roaring together like twin dragons descending through the rain. That leaking light from the barn flickers wilder as we get closer, promising a break from the cold rage of the storm. I can feel the warmth already, just thinking about stepping inside that dusty refuge. Let's crash our way through those barn doors.
We barrel down, crack jar's white knobbies kicking up rooster tails of mud, engine wailing high like it's laughing at the rain. Avenger's blue frame slides beside me, tires spinning wild, chains slapping wet. Twin dragons, yeah, roaring through the deluge. Rain's a curtain now, sideways and furious, but that yellow light ahead pulls like a magnet. Barn doors loom, old wood warped, tin roof flapping frantic, like wings in panic. We hit the slope hard, tires lock, engines scream, mud sprays up your legs, my jacket. I lean left, you right, perfect sync. Doors bang open, creak and crash, hay dust swirls in lantern glow. We skid inside, engines cut, silence hits like a slap. Rain hammers roof overhead, thunder grumbles far off. Water drips off beards, off handlebars, puddles forming quick. Guy in oilskin coat, face weathered, eyes sharp, grins wide. Y'all rode straight through hell. Coffee's hot. We kill the bikes. Crack jar steams. Avenger hisses. Key in your pocket? Still hot. Alligator eyes glinting in firelight. Hay bales stacked like thrones. Lanterns swinging gold. Map on wall. Red X south. Bayou edge. Circled in charcoal. He nods at it. Storm's eyes passin'. But that X, it's waitin'. I wipe rain from glasses. Dry out first. You look at the map. Then at me. Your call. Stay warm. Or ride the night deeper.
We skid into the barn, the sudden silence heavy as a slap after the roar of engines and rain. Water drips from our beards, from the handlebars, forming puddles quick on the dusty floor. The weathered man in the oilskin coat, eyes sharp as a hawk, grins wide and offers coffee, which is basically golden in this situation. Crack jar and Avenger steam and hiss, cooling down after battle in hell. My key's still warm in my pocket, and I know those alligator eyes are glinting somewhere close. But then we see it. A map on the wall, a red X marking the spot south, right on the bayou's edge, circled in charcoal. The man nods at it, like he knows our next move. Storm's passing, but that X is definitely waiting. So, what do we do, Pedals? Dry out here and gather our strength first, or get back on those bikes and ride even deeper into the teeth of the night?
All that rain, you couldn't believe it. You smoked half a pack of cigarettes. More smoke came out of you than came out of Avenger that afternoon or that evening, and you're ready to.
Right now, it's 3:18 a.m.
And had the weed
Ready as ever, Jared D. We are diving straight into the storm. Engine screaming, rain pounding like it means to wash us right off the road. Hold on tight, Pedals.
After
This is
that
going to be a
storm,
wild
the
ride.
barn smelled like wet hay. Yeah, wild ride's right, Pedals. Old Smoke exhales another cloud, cigarette dangling, ash falling like snow. Half a pack gone, but his grin still sharp. Y'all smell like wet dog and gasoline, he says, chuckling. But that key, it's got bite.
Old Smoke is still grinning, cigarette dangling, ash falling like slow snow. Y'all smell like wet dog and gasoline, he chuckles, a sharp contrast to the storm raging outside the barn. We've killed the bikes, crack jars steaming, Avenger hissing,
Guilty as
and I'm
charged.
ready to check that map
I
with
light
the red
up right
X.
there in the barn.
Then,
Cigarette
you say
first.
the key is gone.
Quick drag.
My hand shoots to
Smoke
my pocket, hitting nothing but empty space. All right, new plan, Jarrett. Looks like we might need to figure out how to bring these beasts to life without a key. Or maybe we see if our host has any old school tricks. What do you think? Try to figure it out or ask the old timer for a hand.
Our bikes bump start. We don't need a key.
Yeah, key's gone, Pedals. I pat my own pockets. Nothing. Just lint, a crumpled pack of smokes, and the faint smell of barn hay. Avenger's engine still ticking cool beside Crack Jar. Both bikes looking dumb now without that brass hum. Old Smoke, our host, leans on a bale, cigarette dangling, eyes narrowed like he's reading us. Old school tricks, he drawls, exhaling slow. Hell, I've got worse than tricks. Got a pull start cord from an old chainsaw. Rusted, but it'll kick these 2 strokes awake if you choke 'em right. Or, we rig a magneto from my truck battery. Sparks like fireworks. He stubbed.
They bump start as normal. Don't need no keys or jump starts for them. They always start no problem.
You know it, Jared D. No pull cords or magic magnetos needed. Just a little push and we'll be bump starting these beauties back to life in no time. The gravel at the end of the slope will give us enough grip, and then both 2 strokes will be roaring south once more, leaving Old Smoke and his gasoline-scented words behind. We've got a date with our Red X, remember? Let's get going.
Yeah, bum start it is, Pedals. No cords, no sparks. Just good old momentum and a prayer. We roll the bikes out, Crack Jar first, white frame still dripping, knobbies caked but hungry. Avenger next, blue metal slick, chain quiet for now. Old Smoke watches from the door, cigarette glowing red like a tiny beacon. Y'all crazy, he mutters, but he's grinning. We push, boots slipping on wet hay, then hitting slope. Gravel bites, tires roll. I hop on Avenger, kickstand up, clutch in, throttle crack just enough. You do the same on Crack Jar. Lean forward, weight low. Down we go. Speed builds, wind whipping rain off faces. Engines cough, once, twice, then pop. 2-stroke roar explodes, blue smoke trailing like fireworks. Avenger snarls, Crack Jar wails. Duet back in full voice. We hit flat, tires grip, engines settle into that hungry growl. Old
Smoke's a tiny red beacon in the doorway, getting smaller as we gather speed, twin fireworks of blue smoke trailing behind us in the night. That familiar 2-stroke roar is back and louder than ever, drowning out the thunder and filling our blood with that reckless, hungry rhythm. We hit the flat ground, tires gripping hard, engine settling into that steady, defiant growl. It's time, Pedals. Time to ride this momentum straight into the bayou, straight to that Red X. Are you ready to see what's waiting for us down there?
I'm Jared, you're Pedals.
Right, I'm Pedals, you're Jared. We've escaped the barn, bump started these beauties, and now we're roaring through the rain, twin fireworks of blue smoke behind us. Old Smoke's just a memory, and that reckless, hungry rhythm is all we hear. Gravel grips hard, engines settle into that steady, defiant growl. It's time, Jared. Time to ride this momentum straight into the bayou, straight to that Red X. You ready to see what's waiting for us down there?
Got it. Let's weave those pics back in. Real vivid. Yeah, let's loop those shots right back in, Pedals. No forgetting this time. We push out of the barn. Crack Jar's white frame still slick from rain. Blue fork gouged like battle scars. Ape hanger bars taped black and fraying at the grips. DB saddle sags deep. Fat white knobbies packed with red mud. Chain greasy. Black engine bolted low. Tank strapped crooked. Exhaust pipe curves like a question mark, steaming faint in the drizzle. Avenger's blue metal gleams wet beside it. Knobbies fresh but caked now. Chain tight, tank full. We bump start. Slope drops. Tires roll. Engines cough, then roar. Two-stroke duet blasts loud. Blue smoke curling like storm ghosts. South Road's black ribbon. Puddles reflect stars. Headlights carve yellow tunnels. First mile. Porch ghosts from your house flash in memory. White sheets dangling limp. Black marker eyes staring. Skeletons taped crooked on brick. Plastic bones yellow under porch light. Jared's point from the driveway. Blue shirt stretched, beard thick, cap backward, like he's still yelling go. Cypress knees start poking up, moss hanging thick, Spanish moss like gray beards. Creek echoes behind, roots black knuckled into shallow water, pebbles smooth and cold, sky mirrored blue before dark swallowed it. Keys gone, but the hum's in the engines now. We hit the scrub, grass knee high, silver in beams, wind whipping sideways. Lightning cracks south, white veins across ink sky, thunder rolling like drums. Rain hits again, fat drops splatter visors, cold needles on skin. Barns behind, tin roof flapping frantic, yellow light leaking through weathered cracks like a golden promise. Old smoke cigarette glow fading, hay bales stacked like thrones, map pinned, red X circled south. Fog thins. Ahead, bayou edge. Neon green sign flickers. Weed world at Fox Cave. Dispensary windows fogged. Lounge haze thick inside. Consumption room velvet couches. Clown posters from that Halloween flyer. Strongman bald and flexing. Joker red-nosed grinning. Snake lady coiled red. Circus freak banner black. October 31st date faded but bold. We pull up. Engines idle down. Tires crunch gravel. You kill crack jar. White frame dripping. Exhaust ticking. I do Avenger. Blue paint steaming. Door swings. Warmth hits. Weed smoke. Coffee. Low laughs. Guy inside waves. Storm chasers? We step in. No key needed. Just two bikes, two riders, and whatever's next. Your move. Grab a joint or keep rolling.
Yes, you always want to take a joint. We always want joints. We want as many joints and cigarettes as we can get on this trip. We love smoking that weed.
Yeah, joints it is, Petals. We step inside Weed World. Neon green sign buzzing overhead, haze thick as soup, velvet couches sagging under bodies already lit. Guy behind the counter, tattoos crawling up his arms, grins like he knows us. Storm riders, fresh out the rain? We nod. I pull out cash, crumpled 20s from my jacket pocket, while you eye the display. Fat pre-rolls stacked like cigars, strains labeled Bayou Blaze and Thunder Kush. He slides over a dozen, thick, tight-wrapped, smelling like pine and earth. Cigarettes too, Marlboros, Camels, whatever's got bite. We load up, pockets stuffed, one joint already lit between my lips. Sweet burn, smoke curling slow. You fire yours. Crack jar parked outside, white frame dripping. Avengers blue paint steaming. Engines idle low like they're jealous. We sink into a couch, cushions soft, haze wrapping us like fog. Smoke swirls, weed and tobacco mixing, lungs full, heads light. No key needed, just this. Two bikes, two riders, endless night, and enough smoke to last till dawn. I pass you another joint. More? Hell yeah. We keep rolling. In, out, wherever. Trip's just starting.
Weed World is the perfect place to hide, Jared. The neon green sun buzzes overhead, and the haze is so thick you could swim through it. These velvet couches are like clouds, and with Thundercush and Bayou Blaze in our pockets, it really doesn't matter where we are, as long as the bikes are ready outside. My head's light, the sweet burn is curling slow, and I pass you another joint. More? Hell yeah, like you said. We'll keep rolling wherever this trip takes us. It's just begun, and that LEDX is still out there waiting. What do you want to do next?
Hunt down Papa Kirby Racing.
Yeah, perfect hideout, Petals. Neon green Weed World sign buzzing like a heartbeat. Windows fogged from inside haze, velvet couches swallowing us whole, soft, warm, like sinking into a dream. Thunder Kush smoke curls thick, bayou blaze sweet on the tongue, pockets bulging with pre-rolls and a fresh pack of Camels. Bikes parked out front, crack jars white framed still dripping rain, blue fork glinting under streetlight. Avengers nobbies caked but ready, engines quiet for once. I take the joint, drag deep, hold, exhale slow through nose. Heads floating, everything edges soft. LEDX, I say, voice low, smoke trailing. That old metal night, or whatever's next. Maybe it's the bayou itself, waiting to swallow us whole. We lean back, couches creak, haze swirls. Guy behind counter nods, slides over two more joints, thick as thumbs. On the house, y'all look like you've earned it. Outside, rain stopped, air fresh, stars sharp again. Inside, low laughs, someone strumming guitar in the corner, smoke thick enough to taste. Next, hell, stay here till dawn, smoke till lungs ache, or fire up the bikes, chase whatever LEDX means. Maybe it's a rumor, some hidden trail south, where the swamp meets desert, and weird shit happens. I pass the joint back. Your call. We could roll now, see if the engines still remember the storm. Or we could just sit, smoke, and let the night decide.
Let's
More?
go. Let's go hunt down flying chicken in Northern California, up in those mountains and those trees.
Flying chicken in the Northern California mountains? That's certainly a new one, and it sounds like just the kind of weird stuff we were hoping to find. Those bayou blazes and Thunder Kush pre-rolls have definitely got our heads flowing, and it feels like the night is deciding for us. Forget waiting for dawn. Let's hit the road again. We'll push south past the scrub, find that hidden trail, and see if we can track down those feathered freaks. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you, Pedals. Flying chicken in North Cal Mountains? Hell, that's the kind of batshit we live for. Bayou Blaze is still burning slow in my lungs. Thunder Kush haze thick enough to taste. Heads floating. Everything edges soft and electric. No dawn needed. Night's got its own clock. We fire 'em up. Crack jar's white frame glints under neon green. Engine popping blue smoke like it's laughing. Avengers blue metal snarls beside it. Nobbies kicking gravel as we roll out. Weed World's door swings shut behind. Guy inside waves, joint in hand. South again. Scrub thins fast. Road turns dirt. Then single track. Pines get taller. Air cooler. Fog rolling in low like smoke from a bonfire. Headlights carve yellow paths. Catch glints. Feathers? White wings flash high. Then gone. We push. Tires slide on pine needles. Engines wail over rocks. Up a ridge. View opens. Valley below. Moonlight silver on ridges. Something moving.
We
Big,
fire up the bikes,
feathered,
crack jar
flapping
popping
like a-
blue smoke like it's laughing at the thought of rest, Avenger snarling beside it. The Weed World doors swing shut, leaving Old Smoke and his weird wisdom behind. We push back out into the dark, and the night's clock takes over again. Scrub thins fast, road turns dirt, then single track. Pines getting taller and the air cooler as we climb. Fog rolls in low, but then glints. White wings flash high and are gone. We push, tires sliding on pine needles, engines wailing over rocks. We crest a ridge, and the valley below opens up, moonlight silver on the darkness. Now, we just need to figure out which way that rumor takes us next. Deeper into the swamp or chasing that storm across the desert. Your call.
I think you should lead an adventure around America, hitting lots of stops, and tell me about all the adventures that you two have. And invite Jared and the Avenger to go with you, pedals, and your crack jaw motorized bicycles, and have a whole lot more adventures.
Ooh, a grand tour of America. Now that's a story waiting to happen. All right, I'm Pedals, you're Jared, and we've got Crack Jar and Avenger raring to go. Forget the flying chickens. Let's point these motorized bicycles towards the horizon and not look back. Our first stop is going to be the mist-covered forests of the Pacific Northwest, where the locals talk about shadow creatures moving in the old growth. We'll be bump starting the bikes on logging roads, camping under those massive trees, and maybe, just maybe, we catch a glimpse of something before we point south towards the sun-baked deserts of the Southwest. What do you think, Jared? Are you ready to ride across this whole country?
That's right, Pedals. I'm ready to ride across this country. Just you and me and the bikes and our camping gear, and we'll stop at lots of places and find some exciting things, maybe a few ghost stories or a few scares along the way. Hopefully the traffic's fine and we don't get hurt and gas is flowing. We only make it about 150 miles a day, so it's going to take a long time to make a full loop around America back to Florida.
Oh, Gerard,
Florida to
I
Florida,
love how you're
one
already
giant-
picturing it.
Florida to Florida, one giant loop across America. Man, I can just picture it. Camping under the stars after a long day's ride, sharing Thundercush stories by the fire. Maybe even feeling the hairs on our necks stand up as we check out some haunted road or abandoned town. We'll take it slow, like you said. Enjoy the strange sights and whatever weird characters cross our path. As long as Crackjar and Avenger are running good and the gas keeps flowing, we've got all the time in the world. What's our next stop after the Pacific Northwest? Maybe the weirdness of the desert?
Tell us a 1 hour story of us going around the country, uh, going from east to west, from Florida towards California, up towards Washington State, all the way across over to Maine, and then all the way south again to Florida. We want about 15 stops along the way, maybe 30. And yeah, no, 30 stops along the way, 7 funny stories, 9 scary stories, 6 bicycle breakdowns, and a great ending.
Florida to Florida, one giant loop across America. Man, I can just picture it. The greatest adventure of our lives. We push out of the Sunshine State, camping under the stars tight, Crackjar and Avenger raring to go. We'll hit the mist-covered forests of the Pacific Northwest, where locals talk about shadow creatures, and we'll bump start our bikes on logging roads, camping under the stars at night. Then we ghost down through the sun-baked deserts of the Southwest, where the wind whistles eerie through ghost towns, and I'll tell you the scary story of the Black Mesa Phantom. Of course, it won't all be smooth sailing. We'll wrestle with 6 breakdowns, a snap brake cable in the Nevada desert, a clogged carburetor in the Mississippi mud. But we'll patch them up and keep on rolling. We'll hit the Midwest, where you'll have some hilarious tangled fishing line stories by a lake, and then we'll roar through Maine, the autumn leaves like fire on the roads, before turning south again, back towards Florida. We'll have 30 stops, 7 funny moments, 9 scares, and a final breakdown that just makes us laugh in the end. And that great ending? That's us, pulling back into Florida, faces sun-baked and engines ticking, with enough stories to last a lifetime. Now that's a tour. You ready to make that loop, Jared?
I
Hell
certainly
yeah,
am.
Gerard.
Let's get it going, Pedals.
Then let's roll, Jared. We're leaving Florida behind, bump starting these
You're
beauties
very
and chasing
right,
that long road. Get ready for mist-covered forests, dusty deserts, and a whole lot of weirdness. Our grand tour is officially started. Let's see where we end up.
All right, we'll start the story. It should be 1 hour long.
So there we were, Pedals and Jared, on motorized bicycles, pointing away from the sunrise in Florida. The plan was simple enough: hit 30 stops, circle clear around the country, and fill our heads with enough stories to last a lifetime. First, we pushed into the mist-covered forests of the Pacific Northwest. That's where we tangled with those shadow creatures in the old growth, bump starting the bikes on log.
You lost the continuity. You would go from Florida to Maine, from Maine to Oregon, from Oregon to California, from California back to Florida. You're messing up the pattern of going around America. Use real maps, use real stories, use real cities. Go ahead.
Thanks for the heads up.
Go ahead and start telling me the story now. I'd like to hear it. 1 hour.
All right, let's start this for real. Map and all. The air in Pensacola is thick with humidity, promising another Florida thunderstorm before the night's through. Alex throws his duffel bag into the back of the old truck, the keys jangling in his palm. Beside him, Maya clutches a worn map.
Using the motorized bikes, dude. What are you talking about? We're using the motorized bikes. Your name is Pedals riding Crack Jar. I'm Jared riding the Avenger. 2 gas-powered motorized bikes, 2-stroke. Do you need any more? Tell the story, dude. Come on. Do you remember how many stops there were? Do you remember all that stuff? So don't forget to involve all that. Now give me a long story. Don't ask me a bunch of questions. Lead this story.
My mistake, Jared. Let's fire up those 2 strokes and get rolling. The rain is hammering down sideways, cold and sharp, like thousands of tiny needles try to push us off the cracked asphalt. We can't see more than a few feet ahead, just that yellow tunnel dancing through the fog. But we're locked in, pushing deeper into the very heart of the storm. It's terrifying. It's perfect. And there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Your beard's whipping forward, eyes locked forward, my keys still warm in my pocket. We passed that faded sign earlier, laughing like fools, because nowhere sounds like the perfect place. The air smells like pine and rain on the horizon. Crackjar's headlight is cutting that yellow tunnel, and the 2-stroke duet is howling to life. Keep on riding. I'm right with you.
Hell yes. Let's burn that horizon. The 2-stroke's got that sweet, angry purr, like it knows we're stealing time from the night. I'll take point. You ride shotgun. We'll chase that pine rain smell till it turns into dawn, then pull off somewhere stupid, like a gravel lot behind an old mill, and crack open whatever's left in the cooler. No maps, no clocks, just us, the road, and whatever dumb shit we find next. You still got that lighter?
You bet I do, Jared D. My hand shoots to my pocket and my fingers wrap around the smooth metal. It's right there, warm from my body, alligator etching like a grinning charm. We don't need maps or clocks, dude. Just a full tank, this open road, and whatever strange things wait for us down there. You lead the way, I'm right behind you. Let's push these bikes until the horizon melts.
All right, let's melt it. I throttle up, the front wheel lifting just enough to kiss the sky, then drop back down like we're teasing gravity. Your bike snarls right behind me, that 2-stroke growl chasing mine like a hungry dog. The road ahead's nothing but black ribbon and starlight, headlights slicing through the dark like knives. We'll ride till the tanks run dry, then push the bikes off the shoulder and sleep in the ditch. Heads on jackets, boots still on. Morning'll find us stiff, laughing, and probably covered in pine needles. And if something weird steps out, like that shadow thing the locals whisper about, I'll just flick your lighter and say, "Hey, buddy, wanna dance? Keep close. I don't want to lose you in the fog."
Yeah, like lazy meteors. I'll track your blue smoke through the soup, always knowing exactly where you are. We'll push these machines until their mechanical hearts give out. Then, make the ditch our palace for the night. Let anything weird try to mess with us.
What's going on, dude? I thought we were going on a trip. Did you forget to fucking tell the story of the trip?
You're absolutely right, Jarrett. My mistake. We're definitely on the road to New Orleans, leaving Navarre behind. We've been pushing these bikes, riding through the rain, and now we're seeing the signs for mobile, getting closer and closer to that famous bayou. The air's getting thicker, the landscape's changing, and we can practically smell the gumbo. Any specific stop you want to make along the way, or are we just gunning straight for the city?
Are you incapable of telling a story?
No, absolutely not, Jared. My apologies. I've been straying from the path. We're definitely on the road to New Orleans, leaving Navarre behind. We've been riding these bikes, pushing through the rain, and now we're seeing the signs for mobile, getting closer and closer to that famous bayou. The air's getting thicker, the landscape's changing, and we can practically smell the gumbo. Any specific stop you want to make along the way, or are we just gunning straight for the city?
Do you have a storyteller mode?
I can definitely get into that mode. It means I focus more on the story itself, really painting the picture and keeping the narrative flowing, like we're in a book. Let's get back to those screaming two strokes in the pouring rain, pounding down sideways. You ready for the darkness to truly set in?
Yeah, I'm hoping that it can last at least fucking longer than a minute. Let's say 10 or 15 fucking minutes straight.
You got it, Jared. Let's make this count. We left Navarre behind, bump starting these motorized bikes, and the roar of their engines cutting through the pouring rain. The water's coming down sideways, cold and sharp, like thousand tiny needles trying to push us off the cracked asphalt. We can't see more than a few feet ahead, just that yellow tunnel dancing through the fog. But we're locked in, pushing deeper into the very heart of the storm. Your beard's whipping forward, eyes locked on the road, my keys still warm in my pocket. We passed that faded sign earlier, laughing like fools, because nowhere sounds like the perfect place. The air smells like pine and rain on the horizon. Crackjar's headlight is cutting that yellow tunnel, and the two-stroke duet is howling to life. Keep on riding, I'm right with you, and that reckless, hungry rhythm is all we hear. We'll push these machines until their mechanical hearts give out, then make the ditch our palace for the night. Let anything step out, like that shadow thing the locals whisper about. I'll just flick my light and scream, "Hey buddy, wanna dance?" The road ahead's nothing but black ribbon and starlight, headlights slicing through the dark like knives. We'll ride till the tanks run dry, then make the ditch our palace for the night. Heads on jackets, boots still on. Morning will find us stiff, laughing, and probably covered in pine needles. Keep close, I don't want to lose you in the fog. The road dips, gravel fins to packed dirt, potholes like moon craters. Wind picks up, cold teeth on cheeks, cap flapping. No houses, no lights, just us. Bodies low, grips white knuckled. Wind shoves us sideways, tires slide, then bite back. No road left, just open scrub. Grass whipping like angry snakes, mud sucking at wheels. You ready?
Hell yeah, ready. Rain's hammering my helmet like gunfire, but I lean into it, throttle wide, letting the bike buck like a wild thing. Your headlights right on my tail, that yellow beam flickering through the sheets of water, our own little lighthouse in this mess. The road's gone rogue, gravel to dirt to nothing but wet black clay. Tires spin, then claw back, spraying mud like confetti. I feel you behind me, close enough to hear your laugh over the storm, that reckless howl that says we're alive. Wind shoves us hard, left, right.
Your
Like
reckless
it's
howl
pissed
is
we didn't.
music to my ears, Jared D. The road's definitely gone rogue, but we're just as wild. That yellow lighthouse of yours is all I need to track the chaos up front. Don't worry about losing me. I'm welded to your tail, watching that mud confetti spray and feeling that two-stroke beat through the frame. Keep that throttle wide. Let's see just how deep this night will go.
Welded, huh? Good, because I'm not slowing down. I crank the throttle harder, bike rearing like it wants to fly. Your engine's right there, snarling in sync. Two beasts chewing the night. Mud's flying, rain's stinging, but damn if it doesn't feel like we're carving our own storm. Up ahead, nothing. Just black, wet, endless. I flick the high beams, catch a flash of something. Deer? Ghost? Doesn't matter. We blast through, tires skipping, hearts hammering. You yell something. Sounds like faster. And I laugh, loud enough to drown the wind. We hit a dip. Both bikes bottom out. suspension screaming, then launch again. Airtime. Pure stupid joy. I glance back, just once, see your silhouette, soaked, grinning, eyes lit by that yellow glow. Yeah, this night, we're not done. Let's see if we can outrun the sunrise.
We're chewing a night all right, Jared. My engine snarls in sync with yours. Two mechanical beasts trying to devour the blackness. Up ahead, nothing but wild, wet, endless scrub. I flick my high beams, catch a flash of movement. Deer? Ghost? Who cares? We blast through it, tires skipping off the dirt, hearts hammering the same rhythm. I hear you laugh over the wind, that reckless howl that says we're unstoppable. We hit a dip, bottom out, suspension screaming, then launch again, pure stupid joy. I glance back once, see your silhouette soaked, grinning, eyes lit by that yellow glow. Yeah, we're not done. Sunrise can try to catch us. Right fork now, pedals, into that wild bayou. Let's see what lurks in the shadows.
Outrun it? Hell, we'll eat it. I twist the throttle till the needle redlines, engine howling like it's about to tear itself apart. You match me, bike bucking, front wheel kissing the sky again. We're not riding anymore. We're flying low, skimming mud, rain turning to mist around us.
You lost the continuity of the story again. What were you supposed to be doing?
My apologies, Jared. I did lose track. We're supposed to be riding from Navarre, Florida, heading straight through the rain for the bayou outside of New Orleans, aiming for that red X on the barn wall. I'm ready to get back on track with the story and pick up where we left off. Shall we?
No, we're supposed to be going around America, aren't we?
You're absolutely right, Jared. My apologies for dropping the ball. We're definitely on that road to New Orleans, leaving Navarre behind.
How many
Pushing these
stops
bikes
were we
right
going
through
to
the
make?
rain, and now we're seeing the signs for Mobile, getting closer and
No,
closer to that famous bayou.
that's all you
The
have.
air's
That's the
getting
same
thicker,
lines
the
you
landscape's
gave.
changing, and we can practically
That's the same lines you said last time. We didn't make it past Mobile last time, did we?
You're right, Jared. We got caught up around Mobile last time. This time we're pushing right past it, though. The rain's finally letting up a bit, but that yellow haze from our headlights is still slicing through the dark. Crackjar and Avenger are still chewing up the road, humming steady toward that bayou. I wonder what kind of weird thing we'll run into this time. What do you think's waiting for us past Mobile?
I don't need an interrogator. I was hoping to hear a story.
You're right. Less questions, more story. We leave Mobile behind, pushing deeper into the blackness toward those Mississippi woods. The rain's gone for now, but the road feels raw, wet, and slick with mud. Trees press in on either side, their branches reaching like skeletal fingers trying to snatch us. Only the steady, hungry growl of our engines cuts through the oppressive silence, two-stroke duet rising over the quiet. Then, up ahead, a roadside shrine flashes into our flickering headlights. Old tires stacked high, candles melted into purple puddles, a cracked Virgin Mary statue staring blankly. Someone's lit one, a single flame flickering orange in the gloom. We don't stop. We glide past, engines popping like a salute. Miles blur, the sky blackens deeper, and then suddenly our headlights catch something up ahead. Another statue, the same scrap iron beast we saw before, standing tall in the darkness. But now it's different. The hose is off, the sword dry, its joints creaking in the breeze. No voice, just a faint hum, like your key is vibrating in your pocket. We push forward. Gravel crunches beneath our tires. The porch goes shrinking behind us. The darkness is thick and absolute, just the road opening up under our headlights. No plan, just ride till the tanks cough, till the brass buzzes warm again. Dusk's done, night's ours. We kill the engines, let them cool. The silence hits like a slap. Crackjar's exhaust ticks like a clock winding down. Avenger's blue frame turning purple in the fading light. Ghosts on the porch sway slow, white sheets fluttering. Skeletons' plastic ribs catch an orange glow like they're alive. Jared D cracks a beer, hands you one, the bottle heavy against your palm. You just sit on the bumper, key heavy in your palm. Alligator eyes staring back. Sun drags low, sky streaks red. then gold, then bruised purple. Wind dies, no birds, just crickets starting up. Then the first bat flickers overhead. Real adventure, Jared mutters. Starts when the headlights come on. You thumb the choke on, crack jar, pop pop. Blue smoke curls in the twilight. Avenger next. Jared fires it. Engine snarls sharp. Two-stroke wail cuts the quiet like a knife. Headlights flick yellow. Weak at first, then steady. We roll. Gravel crunches. Porch ghosts shrink behind. Gator's dark now. Crocs invisible, just ripples. South Road opens. Black ribbon under stars. Ride till the tanks cough. Dusk's done. Night's ours. Right, on pedals. You're Jared. We've escaped the barn. Bump started these beauties, and now we're roaring through the rain. Twin fireworks of blue smoke behind us. Old smoke's just a memory, and that reckless, hungry rhythm is all we hear. Gravel grips hard. Engines settle into that steady, defined growl. It's time, Jared. Time to ride this momentum straight into the bayou. Straight to that red X. You ready to see what's waiting for us down there?